Welcome everybody to the Natural Ones. That's our tagline. That's our motto. That's our.
Now I wish I'd really gone for it. Now I wish I hadn't tried to. I wish I hadn't tried to suppress it.
No, that's our motto.
A suppressed belch.
Yeah.
A suppressed belch of a show.
Still, like, not polite enough to just not do it, but just polite enough to be like, I shouldn't be that gross about it. We're here.
I'm gonna make the effort.
We're gonna play a game with you.
And we're
for
here
you,
to
with
remind
us.
you.
This is what I really am.
No, the mess you left when you.
No, the mess you left when you.
No.
You don't get it.
God, Mom, I listen to Alanis for a reason.
I'd like some Morissette of her
back.
music.
We're glad you're here.
We're glad you're here, and it's one of those summer days. So
If you're in chat,
Summer
and you know whether or not she's still making music, let me know because I actually don't know.
she's kind of making
Summer?
music.
Alanis Morissette, is she still making music?
Oh.
I don't know. I think
Yes, she
Pete
is.
Davidson
She
is
is?
just like hanging
She
out.
just
with
released a
lot
new
of stuff,
album. It's a
doesn't-
beautiful song. Highly recommend it. Really good music video.
Hell yeah, that's our sponsor.
Alanis Morissette.
Please come play on
That specific music video.
honestly, if that was true, I love that.
Pretty cool.
We become the only D&D show in the space to be sponsored by Alanis Morissette.
Claim to fame.
You ought to know, and now you do.
We should
You're welcome.
we can support it. Alanis Morissette, Pete Best. Only the
That's right. Yeah.
only the most relevant musicians here.
She has a
The
whole
natural
entire
ones.
Broadway musical about her. Oh, not about her. Using her songs.
Really?
Yeah, Jagged Little Pill. It's new.
That's an Alanis Morissette thing?
It's pretty good.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was what the album
Yeah,
was
it's all
called.
Alanis Morissette music.
I don't have awareness of Broadway or Alanis Morissette.
The name of the song
Alanis
is
Morissette
Jagged
is-
Little
Get
Pill.
yourself
Yeah, the
educated.
song is
Both
called
of those
Jagged
things
Little
are
Pill.
Oh.
That's fine. Jagged Little Pill never came across my my radar, I guess.
You
The
just sang a
title of the
song
song?
from it.
Oh, was that the album it was off of? I know that because of karaoke, not because I'm like a Morissette diehard. Everybody sings that at
How did you
karaoke.
grow up in the 90s?
Morissette. More like
Very
Noisette.
Less a set.
So, we open our game not with Morissette, but with the
There's not
Hammer fist.
but with the hammer.
Liam Morissette.
Isn't it ironic?
I'm here to remind you of the
Don't you
eye you took. the eye you took when you jousted me. There we go.
Okay.
That's how it works.
Yeah.
There's the meter.
So, the five of you have just. You're on your way back to Harrow from the forests. Did you just tell me to be quiet?
Yeah.
But yes, the five of you are headed back to Harrow. Currently walking with the Knight of the Sapphire Heart. Robin was his name, which he did say to you last time. Pangolin's in tow. You have Ripper now, too, who seems very disappointed and actually starts to go back towards the mansion.
I'm sorry,
He's-
what?
He's going back. Like, he doesn't see what's going around here, and he decides to head back to what he calls the cave.
Damn, man, when he gets to that doorknob, he's gonna be so disappointed.
No, he just jumps up, puts his mouth around it, and like he knows the secret.
But he's walking away.
They've been going in and out the
Excuse
entire
me,
time.
Ripper. Ripper, excuse me.
He stops.
Maybe you could wait till we all go back. I think, you and I haven't had long talks in a while.
Roll me an animal handling check.
He's got babies. He's got
You're never
babies,
too old
right?
for your mother. At least that's what my mom says.
Ow, I just hurt myself.
And by mother, I mean the person who came into your home and killed your owners and took you.
21.
How all
What's
motherhood
that?
works.
With
21.
21.
21.
He turns away and starts to walk with you. Semi-begrudgingly, but he seems to listen to it.
Thank you.
Oh.
So how's being a dad? You can talk to Panther about it if you'd like.
Panther keeps walking.
They don't speak the same language.
I can speak to animals. Oh, right, they don't.
Yeah, they can.
Yeah, he kind of like. There's a moment where he's just like,
You're telling a dog and a cat to talk to each other.
It worked
I
in cats
saw
and
cats and
dogs. It
dogs.
could, yeah,
Actually,
thank
wait.
you.
Can Panther, if Panther was a druid, can he talk to animals?
Panther decides not to do anything. He just kind of keeps walking, and he's like, I don't see the, no.
We also can just walk silently. I like that too.
I would like this podcast.
Seems to be a calm walk at this point.
How's
Jackie.
the night looking the closer we get to town?
It's still like the middle of the day.
Nice. Got her.
So it doesn't seem any more or less than the last thing that you noticed about him.
Okay.
It seems very even. Like, if there is nervousness, it seems still very even keeled. It doesn't seem out of control. It doesn't seem, yeah, that's what I would say. It's like it seems balanced, but still heightened. Maybe just adrenaline. You're not positive.
Okay.
Like, that's the other thing about it, is that, like, even your read on him was very iffy. It's this thing where, like, you can't tell if it's just nerves or if it's something.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem. It's about 2 hours to get back to Harrow.
Can we can we short rest in that time, or is it too strenuous to be
No,
walking?
you guys are
Okay.
marching, so there's no short
Okay.
rest available.
All right.
So
Daddy needs to use
may
his
I
hip now.
ask what happens now that we beat them?
Well, I think the least we can do is tell them to help rebuild the damage they did.
Yes, that's true. There are methods that we could use, certainly. But I would say it's up to Harrow to decide their fate. The next step is simply just helping Harrow rebuild.
Okay. That
Do you think it makes for as good a military base as you thought before?
Yeah, it doesn't change the location. It still is resting exactly where it is. The tower being gone is certainly a loss, but nothing that can't be repaired. And certainly throughout the city as well. When you get enough hard workers, you get enough people making repairs, you can make anything better, stronger. There's certainly something to be said about the city's perimeter, and that could be updated. But
what would you do?
it's not about what I would do. I simply have certain ideas. I am not master architect, or neither am I a high enough rank in our order to direct such things. But what I would advise is certainly, much like what I just said, better perimeter, restructuring of buildings, outlining. Much of the city is already built within good enough pathways that you wouldn't have to really restructure the streets.
I'd like to cast a glance at Liam and just get a read on how he's processing all this.
How much would you be wearing that on your face, Liam?
I mean, I don't know. Just kind of lost in thought for the time being.
That's all you get.
Cool.
Just kind of lost in thought. Doesn't seem to be necessarily paying attention to one thing.
Does he have any...
Who's he?
Robin. Does he have any symbols on his armor, his sword, anything like that that would give me some idea if he serves any particular deity? Or is it just the Sapphire
Give me a
Heart
religion
markings?
check.
All right.
The Sapphire Heart, for sure, is one of the insignias, but that's prominent, something you've already seen.
Basically just trying to get a read on whether or not he's a paladin. 11.
You see something on the pommel of his sword. You see a moment. Sorry. Should have brought this up while the moment you asked it. Where is it?
It's a gun. He's got a gun on the pommel of his sword.
Gun.
I worship the Punisher.
I mean, sorry, gotta find the name. You see,
Oh, the Phlegm God.
yes, it's actually a demon lord, but
Yeah.
A fleaman.
Thank God we didn't go to that circle of hell.
Fleeman.
that's the abyss, not hell.
I was just trying to say,
So
it's
at the
everywhere.
pommel of the sword, don't be wrong.
Don't be wrong. Correctly.
I said demon lord,
Yeah.
not devil.
Oh, correctly say Mucus Land would be in the abyss.
Yes.
Well, Mucinex.
But wait, I want to know what's on the pommel of the sword.
Yeah,
The,
can we
the,
please?
the
that
Mucin
I'm not,
Exorcist.
that I'm not even the person that asked about.
Oh, wow.
That light changes really drastically.
Yeah, it won't matter, though.
The pommel of the sword, there is a... It's sort of like... It's just like a circle, right? Like...
I assume so, yeah.
And then the design within the circle is a cloud with like 3 lightning bolts through it. The 2 on off sides basically go through the cloud, whereas the 3rd one just from the bottom section.
Okay. Some kind of storm god, probably.
That's all you can recognize. You can certainly tell it is a deific sort of symbol, but it's not anyone that you're very familiar with.
Okay. Alright, good to know.
Anything else?
That's all. I don't really want to say anything out loud.
Okay. If nobody else has any particular questions, the rest of the walk goes in silence. Okay. You all make it back to the city. The relief efforts. Sorry. The relief efforts are still happening. There are many things that are still being pulled to the side, debris being shoveled, people being tended to. Seems like a lot more of the people who initially were very, very lightly wounded are even amongst the people kind of like cleaning up. Something to do, something in the realm of people are getting lives back together and pushing forward. As you guys enter the city, you do see the family who owns the inn. The 3, the father, he's standing there with amidst the debris of what's left, and just kind of looks like he's salvaging whatever he can. Same thing with the general's goods. Those 2 shops kind of got the shit kicked out of them. So you also see the general kind of eyeing what he can. They have other people around them helping them. At this, Robin the Knight says to you all, he says, I'll be waiting in the town. I have to alert the mayor of what we found. I imagine he'll want to call for a meeting soon. We'll wait for you to arrive to discuss what all has transpired. I'll see you then. And he leaves.
Do you want someone to tag along?
No. He keeps walking.
Should someone go with him?
I was just about to ask that. Do you want someone to tag along?
I don't really have anything to do before talking to the mayor. I could just go straight there.
I think we should circle up and figure out what our move is.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
He is at the tower by this point.
Yeah, we should. We should have someone keep eyes on the tower, and make sure he doesn't leave. I just don't want him.
Again, your house is located fairly close. Like you could, just to point out, geography, right? You know.
I just don't want him like. It would behoove us to find out where his stuff is, and make sure that he isn't abandoning what could be evidence. So if he's just going to the tower and we don't see him leaving it, we're probably fine.
Do we happen to know where he stayed last night? It couldn't have been the inn. We know he moved his things out of there.
Yeah. We don't.
We could ask the innkeeper if, Robin mentioned. I mean, I guess it burned down before he moved out. I mean, I like the idea of keeping eyes on the tower. It would be a perfect time for him to slip out of town if that is what he is planning to do.
He's absolutely not going to slip out of town. This is exactly what he wants. We've played into his hands.
You wanted the guy to die?
Well, now he can rebuild it. Bigger, better. For a military installment.
He can claim the threat is gone, and the best evidence we had against him is now dead. So, honestly, our only hope is, if we want to try and catch him that way, without trying to force it out of him directly, without playing our hand, it would be to figure out if he has that sending stone, to catch him with it, and reveal to everybody that he had a direct line to the warband.
Yeah. We have to find out where he keeps his stuff.
Yeah. The stone wasn't on him. I checked before we left.
Yeah.
What happened to the body of Rudnik?
They took it to bury it, but we got the stone off of him, and they have it. We have Rudnik's end of it. We need to find Robin's end of it.
Oh, I was just gonna say maybe we could bring him back to life and talk to him.
It's been too long at this point, I think. We would need an exceptionally strong caster.
I don't think that's true. I mean, they would have to be exceptionally strong. But,
Jesus.
I don't think that's true. I think that hasn't been too long.
What,
but let me refresh my memory for a second. So keep talking.
Okay.
Oh, wait. It's been no longer than 10 days. I would just need to sleep, but if we got the body, we could bring him back to life and reincarnate him.
What would you need for it?
Well, that's a good question.
I'm bringing it up now.
Sorry, every time I turn my iPad off, it goes away, so it's very frustrating.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm bringing it up now.
Yeah, I know Revivify offhand, but we can't use Revivify.
Yeah. You said reincarnation is what you're trying to use?
Yeah, it's 1,000
Okay,
GP.
So to reincarnate is a 5th level transmutation. It takes an hour. You need at least 1,000 gold, which the spell consumes. You touch a dead Here's the part of it that you have to think about too. You touch a dead humanoid or a piece of a dead humanoid, provided that the creature has been dead no longer than 10 days. The spell forms a new adult body for it, and then calls the soul to enter that body. If the target's soul isn't free or willing to do so, the spell fails. The magic fashions a new body for the creature to inhabit, which likely causes the creature's race to change. The DM rolls D100 and consults the following table to determine what form the creature takes when restored to life, or the DM chooses a form. The reincarnated creature recalls its former life and experiences. It retains the capabilities it had in its original form, except it exchanges its original race for the new one, and changes its traits accordingly.
So we could do that.
We could, but he would have to be willing to come back and willing to cooperate with us.
And
Yeah.
he might not look like him anymore.
And the
Sure.
warband might not want us to
The
use
warband,
body.
the warband is not happy with us right now, so I wouldn't.
Decidedly not.
Okay.
We did
It's
break.
Panther speaks up and he says, well, I mean, there's a couple reasons, but yeah.
We broke their honor, so I don't know how much we can actually get them to cooperate with us at all here. That basically went the worst possible way it could have.
Why do you say that? I wasn't there. What happened?
Well,
I should have remembered Revivify. I could have brought him back, and I forgot.
did you have a gem strong enough for it?
There's
Yeah,
one on.
yeah, you guys, they had
Him and I both. We already discussed it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Liam and I.
It
both
was
passed
there, and I forgot. It's
Sorry.
not something that I've ever had to do. So
What happened.
Yeah.
The point is, even then, even if we brought him back, the problem is still that we broke their code. Liam dueled Rudnik. It was a one-on-one fight, and after it was over, Click Whistle broke the honor, the honorable. So we all almost died, and we got out of there purely by luck. But now the warband is here as a tool for the knight to have in his favor, and they also don't like us, so the odds of them working with us to expose him are low. He's coming back victorious. The person that could testify against him is dead. I don't see a way to guarantee this unless we find that sending stone. And even then, we need to execute it exactly right, or we're going to lose the people.
Well, I mean, yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
And we have to
Feel
make
like-
sure we don't seem suspicious or play our hand or tip him off in any way. We have to be friendly to him right now. Until we know we've got him in a corner. He's also... I'd wager he's also very strong. A lot of us are hurt right now. If it came to a fight, I don't know how it would go. I can't gauge how strong he is. But going off of his weapon, going off of the fact that it seems he has an oath, we just need to be very careful about how we move forward. There has to... Liam, is there any chance your father would know where the knight was being accommodated? He's part of the inner circle of the town, right?
yeah. I think last we saw, the knight went out off into the woods with his items. That's what we saw.
Point of fact, he didn't necessarily bring... You didn't see him bring anything with him.
He brought the red pouch or whatever pouch.
He grabbed his stuff out of the...
That's the one thing I know that he grabbed. I didn't get to, which was just from what I recall, just gemstones. But it was a spider.
Yeah, he didn't grab, like, his main bag or anything.
Did you see...
Oh, I thought the sending stone was with those stones. Okay.
It might be. I don't know. All I saw were gemstones in the bag that he grabbed. I
The
might not
sending
have seen
stone, yeah, was with that bag. But
So
that's what I'm trying to say.
So
It's
it
like-
wasn't the bag that he took.
Oh, I did not. I thought
He had a
all I
backpack?
saw.
He had a backpack. He had a couple other things, and so I'm sorry. I'm not trying to get it. I'm just trying to say, like, point of fact, he didn't like have all of his stuff with him when he left.
Yeah.
So he left the bag of gems in the inn that had the sending stone?
No, he grabbed that.
He did take that one.
She's
Okay.
right. He did grab that one. So.
Okay.
May I ask a question then? Because it might now. When I was looking in the bag, did I only see the gemstones or did I also see the sending stone?
You only saw the gems.
Okay, then never mind. So we don't know that then, though. Correct?
Correct.
But it stands to reason if he had to coordinate with Rudnik, he likely kept that sending stone on him. Leaving it behind would have been an extremely foolish move on his part.
Yeah.
Although I suppose we could look for it if we needed to.
Yeah. I
Are
can.
there-
I could go. I'd like to start helping out clean up at the inn at some point too. I could go there, start doing some cleanup, and while I'm there, I could ritual cast detect magic.
What do we say we take an hour or so, head around town, figure out if we can see where he is, take care of our wounds, and then figure out where to go from there.
When you say see where he is, you mean see where he stays.
See where he was staying. Yeah, see if we can track down where his accommodations were, and other light activities that wouldn't get in the way of a short rest.
A short rest means you actually stop moving, and you
Okay, then I will
do
stop
a very
moving
very
while
light
that-
activity like writing or reading.
May I ask a suggestion or question? One DM question. Did I see the thing, or did only Liam see, or did only Philip see what was on the hilt? Like, have we all seen it?
No, it's an obvious thing. Like it
Okay.
is on the sword. He's the only one who I'm trying to say that like I don't know. At this
Because
point,
I
he
may
could
have just seen something that I didn't mean to see in the book, so I want to go back to the mansion and research.
No, you wouldn't have seen it. Again, it wasn't you asking the question. It wasn't brought up in your mind. So until Philip says something, no.
Okay, then my question out of character, in character, is no longer applicable.
Cool.
I'm down to go ask around town, see if I can find out where the knight stayed.
Okay.
My injuries were pretty well taken care of by you, Philip. Thank you.
Yeah, I
I
need
want some
to.
spell slots, but resting won't help me with that.
I need to take care of my wounds before I do much.
No problem.
I literally did nothing, so I can go ask too.
If somebody can check the rubble of the inn and help them out, and under the guise of helping out, but also just scan to see if any of his magical belongings were left behind, if the sending stone is in that.
I'll start there.
Okay, we got Liam heading to the inn. We got Philip taking a short rest.
Yeah.
In terms of a place to start, Nameless, if you have an idea, go with it. But if you don't, you could start with the generalist goods.
Okay.
He might know something. I don't know if he does, but he might.
You're gonna go to the general? Is it Lolly?
I can go help with the rubble near the tower. That way I can still keep an eye out on Robin without being suspicious. Because I don't need to rest.
Robin's in the tower, so if you want to go like help out, a lot of the damage was done outside.
Oh, no, I know. Yeah.
Okay.
No, I know.
but she's checking in case he leaves.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was the only thing I
if he
wanted to
does-
make
if
sure
he
that
does
was
end up leaving,
understood.
just don't be seen, but try and follow him if he ends up leaving.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait, Set Lolly. Here's my sending stone.
Thank you.
Didn't you already give her? No.
She gave it back to me.
Liam,
I gave it
yeah,
back.
you gave it back. I was like, here's my other one.
Hello? Hi.
Click whistle.
I can go check some rubble as well. Do you want me at the inn or the general store? I was gonna do one or the other anyway, wherever I'm more helpful.
I mean, I'm not the most charismatic person. I'm aware. It
Me
might
neither, but
benefit-
maybe you and me together. One
could be
charismatic
terrible
person.
together.
The two
I like
wrongs.
it.
The two wrongs make a right methodology. If one of us insults him, but then the other person insults him, and it comes right back around to being a compliment. It's
Yeah.
This is just so unpleasant. It must be ironic.
You're ugly. You're the most ugly. I'm beautiful.
It's a good play. It's a good way to go. It's a good plan.
It's a good plan. It's a great plan. Like every other one of Clickwith's plans.
Any of your guys' plans, I'll be honest.
Any clan.
Were you raised? No, you're just blocking the sun. Okay. Okay, so it's not going to take you guys long to do these activities. I don't think.
It's gonna take me an hour.
Well, I guess what I was gonna say was like it's probably some of these things are less than. So I'm gonna do the ones that are gonna take the longest first. That way, if you guys get done, it'll. Since you're resting for an hour, do your relevant. How many hit dice are you gonna take?
7.
7. 7.
Yeah.
Liam, we're gonna go ahead and go with you first. You kind of have like the longest activity. So going towards the inn, you see Tom and Loren, and they're kind of at the bottom floor, digging through things. Solemn energy. There's also like 8 other people helping them out, like on this part as you approach.
Tom.
Hey, Liam. Hey.
I thought I'd lend some hands. See if I can help out a bit.
There's enough to go around.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I'm gonna see if I can find anything magically. See if I sense anything in particular. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna cast the.
Well, I suppose all I can say is just watch out. It's not really stable up there at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm going to. I just want to make sure I'm within that, like. In the rubble, I want it or be like, so that his room is within 30 feet of me, because that's my range. And
You'd have to go upstairs.
Okay, if it's still standing, sure, why not?
Yeah. Once you reach the second level, and are you ritually casting, or are you...
Yeah.
Okay. So it's going to take 10 minutes. So as you're kind of like... Are you actually going to be... I guess what I want to say is, like, are you trying to actually be helpful on top of this?
I figured I would be helpful after this.
Okay. So you're just kind of, like, walking for... Like, it's 10 minutes of you, like, preparing...
That's kind of what I told... Why I told him I was going to see if I could detect anything magically. Just so he had some idea. I don't care what anyone else thinks, but he has some idea kind of what I'm trying to do. And
Awesome.
then after that, I'll start being more
Awesome.
helpful.
You go ahead and do that. After that time, there are a few magic things on the walls, mainly the sconces that hold the lanterns. Seem to have some sort of enchantment towards them. As you kind of focus on them, it seems to be something of evocation, continuous light kind of a thing. Like a continuous flame. But you don't feel anything coming from above you.
Alright. Yeah, then... I do want to be helping out. I probably will just, like, casually ask Tom if he knows where Robin ended up staying.
Yeah, as you come back down, and as you're, like, helping, like, move some stuff out of the way, he looks up and goes, "You find what you wanted?"
Nothing in particular. But, yeah, you know. Just seeing if any of the guests who are staying up there might have left something that they needed back, you know. But it doesn't seem like there's anything I could detect magically, so. Most of the other stuff can probably be found or replaced.
Alright.
But I thought I would double check since it's something I can do fairly quickly.
Sure.
Do you happen to have any idea where Robin ended up staying?
Probably some in the tower, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Tybalt's got him set up probably in his own room or the like, I'd imagine. Kid really looks up to him, so...
Yeah. It's lucky that he got his stuff out of here. A lot of people probably weren't as lucky.
Don't know if he got his stuff out of here, but yeah.
Oh. Here's hoping.
Haven't gone up there yet.
Yeah, I get that.
I mean, didn't you just go...
I was checking around. I didn't look super specifically. I was looking for, like I said, like specifically like magic
Sure.
items or particularly
Sure.
valuables. So the irreplaceable stuff that we want to
Okay.
put special effort into getting back to people. If you do end up needing help going up there, I can. If you want an extra pair of hands while you do it, let me know. I know it's scary work.
No.
Okay.
It's fine.
I'll just continue helping for a bit here.
Is there anything you'd like to say?
Is there anything I should?
No.
Okay.
You just got a look about you.
Yeah, It's not how I saw returning home going, Lot to think about. Lots sitting, lots weighing on me. But I'm sure there's a lot of that going around, so.
He like dumps the debris, kind of like pats you on the shoulder a little bit and like directs you over to the bar, which is like half intact at the moment. And he takes out a cracked bottle. It's gonna go to waste anyway. He like pours 2 drinks, sits it down. He says, "I only got 1 good chair left, so go ahead and sit."
Seat of honor. I'm honored.
I guess I just want you to know that I'm happy to see you.
Thanks.
But your home is never going to be the same. It doesn't matter when you returned.
Of course not.
I guess I'm just. Why did this happen? You came in ablaze and said everybody needs to get out.
Yeah.
I just hope that you remember that you can trust us.
Thanks. It's not, I don't know. I appreciate that a lot. I needed to hear that, honestly. Spent too much time on the road, I guess.
It changes you.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a reason I run an inn. I just don't want you to do anything stupid.
Yeah.
Mainly because my inn's already ruined. I, would like it to not be completely demolished.
Yeah.
But also, stop beating your. If you are, I'd advise you to not beat yourself up. All right.
Not necessarily one of my strong suits, but I'll take it on your advisement.
Good. Because I have honestly, 2 things. I've got great insurance, and B, there are actions that the few take that affect a lot of people sometimes.
Yeah.
Good or bad. And we saw both of those yesterday. Good and bad from the few. Hold on to that as long as you can. And if you want my advice, the second you can't feel it be good anymore, open up an inn.
Thanks.
You can get back to it. Finish your drink. take a second. Alright. Just like kind of like downs it real quick. Takes a second. Kind of more than you really want, kind of a slap on the back, like just that nice little stinging pain as he goes back to picking up debris. Next up, we got Setlali. And Setlali, you're picking up debris and kind of watching the door to the tower. Many people are thanking you for your help. It's really easy work in terms of like it's this similar kind of thing. It's just shoveling or stabilizing parts of the rubble so that you can break it up easier, or other people can break it up easier. Actually, through a lot of your monk training, you're actually able to like strike the stone in different ways that like people are like but it's something that is very capable, and it speaks to your strengths. During that hour, he doesn't leave. You I don't need you to roll for it either. It's you can stay within a good distance and keep your perception on it at all times. Enough that like there's not also a lot of activity going in and out of the tower. It seems like a lot of the people who would be in the tower are either out about or doing what you're doing. So Nameless and Clickwhistle, you guys head over to the General's Goods. Similar situation as the inn. Like you see the General himself kind of dictating some of the clearing, but you do also see them. The General's Goods was a much smaller building, and it had a good chunk of it just like completely destroyed. So a lot of it is just ripping stuff out, ripping out frameworks, and just dumping them to the side. Doesn't seem to be a lot of like what can at the inn they're looking for things that they can repair. At the General's Goods they're just looking at like what's salvageable wood at this point. He sees you approach and he kind of gives you a nod, but then is still just directing people around.
Hello, sir. Your tavern or your institution has burned down. We have come to help you. General.
Hello. Yes, that sounds very helpful. I appreciate it. Is that all?
I just wanted to know what you wanted us to do. It's a shame that there's so few people here.
Are you being sarcastic?
She
No.
just always sounds like that. That's just how her voice. She is really being sincere.
Okay.
We figured,
You guys are with Hammerfist, aren't you?
No,
Yeah.
I'm nameless. Oh, with him, yes. I didn't hear
This
the
is going
sentence.
great. You guys.
Yeah, I'm letting that one slide. I figured that's what
I didn't hear the sentence correctly.
Yeah. He says, well, at the moment we're pretty full of hands that are necessarily useful, but if you both wouldn't mind going through, he kind of like points to like a bigger pile of stuff that they're just kind of like throwing to the side, and then there's a smaller pile again of like salvaged pieces. He's like, if you wouldn't mind going through that, seeing what might actually still be good to keep, that would be
Sure.
helpful.
Also, perhaps you could help us. We were staying at the
wild. Yeah.
Well, we were just wondering if you knew of people who were letting people stay places.
At the moment?
Yeah, the knight said he knew people. I was just curious if you knew, like, maybe some of the same people the knight knew.
Well, if you're looking for lodging, obviously, he kind of like gestures to the inn. It's like, that's out of the question. There are a number of people who have offered up their homes. The Brahms have offered up. They've got a nice little nice little estate on the east side. A couple other people, but most people's homes weren't affected, so it's mainly just the people who are injured needing the shelter from what we've set up. Again, gestures to like the big thoroughfare. He says, so outside of those two areas, I'm not really certain who else has opened up their homes. But if you want my money's on the tower. Sure, it's half built, but still structurally sound on the first and second floors. The rooms themselves are also in a basement, so that would be unaffected at this moment. I'd imagine if the knight's going to stay anywhere, he would stay in the tower.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
We're
go
going
ahead
to
and
go
get
help you now.
get that debris, get out of it, and whatever's salvageable. He goes back to work.
Let's hit it.
Like over the hour, and this is just kind of saying like until Philip gets out of a short rest and potentially you guys would reconvene. You guys are maybe able to find like 10 things out of a pile of like hundreds of different levels of it, like that are actually worth keeping. You know, a nice 4x4, post that has a decent amount of it still unburnt, unbroken, unwarped, things like that. Things that are actually salvageable. The hour commences.
I would like to talk to Fizzer if possible.
Sure.
I'm assuming she's still being kept. I don't know where she's being kept at this point. We had her at the
Tower.
Hammerfist before. She's at the tower?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, never mind then. I was hoping she sold the Hammerfist. It's fine.
No. At this point, she would have been handed over.
Yeah. Alright, no worries.
Again, the hour commences. I would say you guys would reconvene at this point. Just to kind of, again, collect and see where else you might go. Go ahead.
We did it.
I assume we all share our information.
Yes.
Yeah.
Alright. Okay, so...
We just left him alone with the potential evidence for an hour, it seems like.
Did he ever leave the tower?
Well,
So, Lolly, you were watching.
Oh,
Right.
she's just...
No, he didn't. So he's still there as far as I know.
Okay,
And
so he definitely didn't take the sending stone out of the tower.
No.
He may have picked it up, but if it's with him, it's either on him or in the room.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think we can make a play.
2-act or 3-act?
So what is the play?
I'm also worried about our friends showing up. Technically, they should, because Click Whistle's here. But... Sorry, I'm not thinking straight, you guys. When I left the other sending stone with them, potentially just gave the knight a way to talk with them behind our back. So...
He doesn't serve them.
No. Not.
And besides, as far as the honor system goes, he did bring us to them. So,
Yeah.
I don't think they'd want to work with him any more than they'd want to work with us either.
It's fair.
They'll be here though. They're sworn to at least follow that order. I think the best thing we can do is try to locate the stone. Figure out where it is. Find a way to corner him with it.
Okay, so that's great that you can say that. Do you have a plan?
If we can... so during the visit, if we can have the goblin that we talked with, who I gave the stone to, We can have him there for the discussion, and either be somewhere with the knight's things, or where he has the stone on him. We could bring up the stone as a way that they might have been sharing intel with someone in the town.
We need to make sure that we don't let him make the argument that we planted it either.
Yeah.
So stay in sight. We don't go to his room. We can detect it, though. If we can figure out that the room's in there, we'll just have to make a gamble on making him go get the stone. He'll either have to admit he's lying or get the stone.
Cornac was the...
Rudnik, thank you.
Yeah, was the hobgoblin's name. The other hobgoblin that you gave the stone to.
Right.
If he has nothing to hide, he'll cooperate. If he won't cooperate, that puts him under suspicion.
Yeah. So...
I'm confused. What is he going to cooperate? I have the sending stone?
Getting the stone, handing it over so that they can see that it's connected to the one that the warband has.
Great, so what if he just says he doesn't have it?
Yeah.
Then we make him prove that he doesn't have it. He takes
Great, so what if he hides it and puts it in his room and he's out in the hall, out in the main street, and we're like, show us that stone. He's like, what stone?
We can,
and then
no,
we
literally,
look in his pockets and there's
this
no
is literally
stone.
we can detect the magic.
Yeah.
We make him take us there.
If he won't, it's him proving he has something to hide.
If he's truly innocent, there should be no problem with us going and looking for the stone.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the only it's the only way that I think we can do this without. I think it's the only option open to us to still get the people on our side, without just making it violent.
Right.
I just worry if we ask him if he has the stone, he'll realize we know he might have it, and then he will ask us how we know that. And then
it doesn't matter.
We will have to, but it will, because then it'll make us look shady if we tell people that we spied on him without probable cause, and because we met a knight of the Sapphire Heart before who wasn't a good person.
No, that doesn't work against us at all. It doesn't matter if we were spying on him if it turns up results.
I'm just curious how, if he doesn't have it on him, it doesn't look like we planted it on him.
That's why I'm saying we don't
none of us have been in his room.
That's why I'm saying we don't go up into his room. We stay in sight. We make sure people see us at all times. There's going to be people in there. We stay in plain sight. We detect that it's there. We don't go into his room until he's having to show us it's there.
I mean, we just walked 2 hours with the dude. Who's to say we didn't put it in a pocket and then he took his cloak off or something and it's in his room? I'm just saying, there's a lot of what ifs, but if you want to try it, I'm cool with whatever.
Do we have any other ideas?
No, that's not what I'm saying. We want to try it. I'm just saying we shouldn't act like we're so certain about it and go in so cocksure about it.
It's the only path I see.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'm just saying, don't doubt other people's I think Zalali's valid in feeling that way. Because you just said you didn't want who planted it on them.
Sure, that's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't matter. We can reveal that we've been spying on him. That doesn't matter. Our motives don't matter.
And what if there's no stone?
If there's no stone, then we're basically where we're at now. That's why we detect magic. We see if the stone's there in the room. We should be able to see if it's there.
Yeah.
It's the only way that I see the working. It's because the only other thing that I can think of is, we sneak into his room and find it, but that is suspicious. I could purposely get caught trying to look for it, and then we have the people on the other side talk through it, so that it is like, oh, it is in the room when this is happening. But
if we do that, then they can say that you planted it.
True.
That's
That's the thing. It's like almost every single time I'm like, maybe this. It's like, oh, no, it looks like we planted it. Oh, it looks like we planted it.
I don't want to be a Debbie Downer or anything, but what happens when this plan goes wrong? What do we do then? When the fact that a bunch of people in this town have put their trust in this knight because this knight offered them something fabulous and something to help their town, and we come in out of nowhere and accuse this person of having a sending stone and starting this attack to make himself look good. What happens when we're wrong? I'm not saying we are wrong, because I did see the way he looked at while you guys were looking through Rudnik's body for the sending stone, so I know he's a little jumpy. But what happens if we are wrong?
That's why we check.
What is the plan then?
That's why we check and see if the stone is there before we say it.
I'm just curious how you're gonna check that if we're not going in the tower.
We can go in the tower.
We just can't go up to his room. There's people in the tower, so
how far away can you be?
The only thing I'll say about detect magic is it can't work through an inch of stone, or it has like a finite limitation to its detection.
But we can go outside the door though.
But that looks just as suspicious.
Not if we never go inside.
That looks just as suspicious. Oh, here's a group of us just chilling out outside the door. Weird.
You just walk by.
I mean, do we honestly have any other option? Like, this is the thing. It's like we.
What the limitation?
I think with wood, it's like a foot.
Yeah,
something like that.
I'm just gonna double check just to make sure.
I can check.
So you should be able to use it through a door as long as the door is not like solid steel.
Yeah.
I mean, Click Whistle, you currently have control over an entire warband, and if they do show up, they do have the other sending stone.
They
and
have
so
one sending stone.
Right, and usually if it does connect to the other one, if they use it, the other one will, the same way, if I try to use it right now, Liam will feel that I'm calling, will be able to use it. I'm not saying it's a great idea, and I'm not trying to use people as a scapegoat, but we do have an entire warband who could call the sending stone and see who's on the other side. We don't have to be the ones to do that.
Well, yes, that's the plan. The plan is to confirm that he's got the stone, and then when they get here, show that they've got connected stones.
Yeah.
Have them call it.
Yeah.
That part I did not hear.
So Lolly, you're right. It might not work. And if it doesn't work, we don't have a plan. If we had a plan, if I had an idea even, I wouldn't feel so tired. But it's what we have. If this all goes bad and there's trouble, I don't know.
Is there a way that maybe we can make you look good? And by that I mean just make it look like you're not turning on your back on your town and your family.
I mean, I literally warned them about an attack and probably ended up saving lives doing so. Whether that comes into play at all, it's all that I've done that really is in my favour.
Okay.
Outside of that, I don't know.
The best way to make him look good is to prove that he's right about this, I think. I don't.
On the
Alright,
upside, I am right about this. On the downside, that doesn't seem to matter most of the time.
Yeah.
So
It's gonna have to come down to your word versus his, which means we need to make sure we get the evidence on our side here.
Alright, let's go.
What is this finalized plan?
head to the tower. I'm nervous about trying to do the detect magic.
Also, remember, Robin also said that they were going to call a council.
Yeah. I think that's the thing. We do need to.
I actually have an idea.
Okay.
I forgot about it till just now. They're gonna have a council, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bird told me.
Right. I realized I actually
Robin.
have one wild shape left, so maybe I could stay behind, let you know if it's in the room, sending stone it to y'all, be like, hey.
The sending stone, though, you'd have to be a person.
I will come out.
Okay.
I'm in the room when there's no one there. I go, boo.
As long as he doesn't have magical protections about it. I guess my only worry is you being out of sight for that long.
Yeah.
And him trying to use that.
Yeah,
as
it
proof
would
that
suck
it's
if it was there.
Maybe we do that if we can't detect it beforehand.
What if I polymorph Ripper into me, and then you all go with Ripper as me, and then I become Spider?
That sounds like a really bad idea to put a wolf's brain in your body.
You can't polymorph the wolf into a person.
I was partly joking.
I know.
Just like, here's a wolf in a doll that looks like me. Try to pass it off. It's be a Weekend at Bernie's situation.
I would like to do whatever Liam wants to do because it's Liam's town.
Okay. I think it's a good play. We can head to the tower, see if we can get down there. Take a look.
All right.
If we can, then we have that confirmed. If not, we don't, and we can fall back on the other plan, the investigation plan. Then we're going to wait for the council. If the goblins are there at that time, we can have them in, talk to them about it, have the town and them. We'll figure out what needs to happen there. We can bring up the two contacting one another and the sending stone. At that point, we can either be certain or be hopeful.
There's probably no point bringing it up until they get here with the stone, huh?
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. If they are here, we do that. If they're not here yet, we tell the council that they're going to be coming, and then we'll wait for that to spring the.
Okay.
Thing.
So the order of operations is you're going into the tower, you're going to go through the rooms or not like through them, but you're trying to go to them and have detect magic up.
Yeah.
And
I won't do it ritually, so I don't have to.
And then you guys are... Okay, we'll do that first, and then once we see where that leads us, then we will continue on. I mean, the tower's open. It's not, people are kind of coming and going. As you enter...
There's no metal detectors.
No. The first floor is full of them. People, some of the knights... Sorry, not knights. The city guard. Some of the city guards are hanging about here. You do see Tybalt and Charlie, the mayor, in conversation with Robin currently as you enter. You see the staircase heading up, and you also see the staircase heading down below. The five of you and Panther enter. What's that?
She said
and Ripper.
I'm just making sure where he is at all times.
Okay. I'm just making sure where he is. He's with you. So you've all entered the space, but there is a guard posted at the stairs towards the basement. All the other guards are kind of patrolling about, or just like getting things going outside or the like. But how would you proceed? As you walk up to the stairs, the guard says, "May I help you?"
Sorry. Yeah, have you seen Tybalt and Charlie around?
Just kind of like points to the left, and they're right there.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
He's had a long day.
Don't doubt it.
Yeah.
Thank you for keeping it safe.
You're welcome. I just need a choice. This is.
Yes, you're heading to Tybalt and Charlie.
Oh, I thought we were going to Charlie and Tybalt now.
Is okay if that's what you were.
No, I don't know. I'm following.
You head over to Tybalt, Charlie, the mayor, Robin. They're all in the discussion currently. And it doesn't seem very heated. It just seems very decisive. They're kind of... They got a couple of documents out in front of them, just sort of... It doesn't seem... Like, even at a cursory glance, the documents just seem sort of just like some sort of write-up. Again, it doesn't seem like a debate. It seems more like a conversation. And as you're approaching, it's things like Charlie saying, but we would retain autonomy. And Robin saying, well, yes, of course. It's the whole point is that you are still your city, and your city of Jortenia, which is all the same laws you followed. So it simply just puts us within your city and gives you a greater deal of protection, as well as degree of status. It puts you at more important places. It makes you more of a beacon, sure, but that's what the Knights would be here for. Tybalt sort of agreeing with that. The mayor isn't really saying anything. As you guys approach, they don't hush up, but they do. And Robin says, yes, your heroes. Ones who, like I said before, it was them who dispatched your enemies from before, not myself. But it truly was remarkable to see them at work. He points to you, Liam. He says, he did a great... He went toe-to-toe with their leader for a good portion of it.
Yeah. Actually, about that, we were, you guys are, I don't know how familiar you are with Goblin warbands, but as we defeated their leader, we were discussing some stuff with the warbands, and actually, some of them were going to head this way, for discussions. I figured the town council could convene and have that conversation with them.
At that, the
potentially,
mayor... At that, I'm just saying, the mayor does kind of speak up to that. He says, I will not have aggressors come into our city. Robin alerted us of the desire to use them to help build what they destroyed. Well, I say no. I say they should pay for the destruction they've done, not with labor, but death. How many of ours did they injure? That seems fair. Charlie doesn't debate.
That's the strongest opinion you've shared since I've been in town, Mayor.
Oh, speaking of which, I would like to help with the rebuilding process, and I was wondering, I actually haven't looked around the tower yet. I was wondering if it'd be okay for me to head around and assess the damage.
Tybalt looks to you and says, are you much of an architect?
Well, no, but I'm, take out my clan crest. I'm like, I'm connected to Rakia, to the clans there, so I might be able to get us access to materials that could help things go along faster, if I can get them some kind of idea of what we might need.
Yeah, I don't see why not. You kind of like to one of the city guards walking around. If you wouldn't mind directing him through the tower, showing him where some of the other damage is. It's mostly in the upper levels.
Sure.
So go ahead and take him up first and show him what's up there.
Excellent.
Are you gonna go alone?
Well, if somebody else would like to come, it's also fine. I just wanted to assess it.
I mean, Liam's pretty good at building things. Maybe he should go with you.
Sure. Yeah, anybody who'd like to come can.
I actually had something else I needed to talk to these folks about. You're right. I would be good for that job. And I should do that as well. But I had.
What would you like to say?
I think we do need to discuss with the warband before any sort of punishment is doled out.
Well, I'm sorry. Are you part of the council?
What?
The silence
I mean,
is enough, isn't it?
I think I should have some say in some of this.
Why?
The number of people who survived the attack was largely to do with the forewarning that I provided. I think I have earned some credit there.
Yeah.
That and heading out to try and make sure we weren't attacked again. I think my voice should be heard. That seems fair to me.
Your voice is heard. Your opinion is said.
I have reasons behind my opinion. You listened to 5 words before trying to shut me up. My voice is not heard. That's not what's happening here. What's going on? Is there a reason you don't want me to talk?
Give me an insight check. But he's going to start directing you upstairs if you don't object. Okay.
Just go to me, whatever. I'm good.
Sorry, I'm at the wrong page.
It's okay.
For insight. 19.
Oof.
He seems...
One of my few good rolls.
And again, this is just to Liam. He seems... You feel very verified in your feeling of, like, this is more emotion than he's ever shown. Ever. And it doesn't seem to be coming from a place of strength. It feels like he's afraid. And it feels like he's angry and afraid. And that's the sense you're getting from a lot of what he's trying to say. And with how quickly he's cutting you off, it doesn't sound or seem as though he wants to listen.
I guess I remain calm and logical, and yeah.
So
like,
he says, we have already had a discussion, your father included, people who actually have a say in matters that go on in a city that they live in.
You didn't answer my question. Are you avoiding it? Is there a reason you don't want me to be talking? Is there a reason you don't want me to be heard?
Yes, because if you continue to talk, you will rile people up.
You're the one riled up right now.
Yes! We suffered an attack. I want retribution.
Liam almost died. There.
Who are you? Who? I have no what?
Is anyone at this table familiar with logical fallacies? Because nothing he's saying is an actual argument. Like, if anyone's trying to rile people up, this is clearly what's happening. Charlie, you're usually more forthcoming when things like this are happening. Tybalt, you have a leveler head than to sit by while he's rambling.
He slams the table. They are not mayor! And the rest of the room just kind of goes quiet, and yes, you have earned credit, Liam, for your actions, certainly. But you do not get to dictate what happens here.
I haven't even suggested something that happens.
Yes, you did. The fact that you want to go against the people here. You ask about this warband. Warband that should answer for its crimes. And you want me to enter the discussion with them.
Right now, I want anyone but you to be at that discussion with them. You proving very, very well that you're incapable of logical discussion.
What's logical is they came here, they destroyed our city, and now it's time that they pay for that. Let me make it logical. They committed an act of aggression. I would like to make an act of aggression. I would like them to pay for what they've done, And I don't care about them repairing the city, as Robin has already made me aware of this.
It was a suggestion, and if you're not fine with it, I'm not pushing for it. That's not at all what I'm pushing for. It's not why I want us to talk to them.
Then why do you want it?
You've admitted that I have earned credit, air quotes. How did I do that?
What, by stopping them?
No. By helping get people to safety. By warning people about the attack. Ask Tybalt. Tybalt. I came to you. I said I had reason to believe there was an attack coming. We mounted a defense. We got people to safety. We got them as safe as we could. And an attack happened. Right? I looked for confirmation from Tybalt.
Yes.
That
Those
occurred.
are all true.
Yes. So, I had reason to believe an attack was coming. It's something I offhandedly overheard, but I overheard it somewhere from someone, and we need to figure out who it was, how it happened. These goblins didn't randomly march through these woods to attack us. This was premeditated, and they were talking to someone in town, and I think the town deserves to know who. And we'll probably need to talk to them in order to find out the truth of that.
How do we get them to talk?
Like I said, we had talked to one of the hobgoblins. Clickwhistle was the one who killed their leader, Rudnik, and they will listen to her for the time being. We had asked one of them, I forgot his name again,
Cornac.
to come here and talk to us. I asked him to do that for this very reason.
Robin sort of leans in, he says, he does have a point. Your Honor, I would say, listen, and make it a part of your new mission statement. Enact real justice and allow them the opportunity to help us, as he says, direct them to a what now? Someone directing the hobgoblins?
Someone talking to them about information. Someone here in town.
Someone in town.
That was working with the goblins.
The mayor sort of... yeah, I see your hand. The mayor's just going to say one thing. He does say, this is exactly what I mean by riling people up. You want me to believe one of our citizens has turned against us. And I don't want to start a witch hunt.
If I wanted to rile people up, or I wanted a witch hunt, I would have slammed my fist on the table and shouted to the room. I'm telling you, and this council, just because it's a scary thought doesn't mean it's not potentially true or dangerous. Dealing with it quietly, so as not to rile people up, makes sense. Discovering it quietly makes sense. But not discovering it leaves the town open to more danger, or completely neglects to get justice.
Nameless?
I just wanted to see if I could do an insight check on Robin when he started talking about someone working with the...
Sure. Go for it. Real quick while she's doing this roll, by the way, you're getting a lot of information thrown at you that you basically have not a lot of grounding for.
I'm just gonna.
But there's no rooms upstairs.
Yeah, I'm gonna be writing it down, but I'm gonna say like, here, since it was torn off with magic, I just want to see what sort of residue was like left behind, like the sort of spell they use.
He doesn't even. Yeah, he's like.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna touch the wall and I'm gonna cast Detect Magic.
Great.
And throw that up.
That's what I mean. Is it like for a good portion of this, that's kind of what you're doing. You're like assessing damage upstairs. It's not going to be much longer before you would be back down to ground level, and then heading downstairs.
Yeah, that's what I want to say. So I want to say like, and just as part of the building thing, we'll need to understand the foundation as well. So I can just get a quick look at how that's supported.
He was planning on taking. He was still planning on taking you downstairs.
Cool.
Names.
14.
Hard to read. Not. It seemed very even keel. It seemed very. At least believes his own truth. Is the feeling you're getting. It was very believable. The mayor. Fine. Fine. We will meet. And we will discuss who sent them here, why they were here. Because apparently the one downstairs doesn't know, no matter what we do to her. So, if you expect a conversation to enlighten us, but I am signing this. He holds up. Because what happens on the day that Liam Hammerfist decides to leave again? Who warns our city of danger and who protects it then? You want to save it from one individual who would send a bunch of one group after us. I want to protect us from people across the water. I want to protect us from things in the woods. Things in the dark. And that comes with ending this warband. But yes, we will listen. Are you satisfied?
Yes.
You've paid your credit.
Great. I'm glad to know what the lives of your constituents is worth to you.
Live here.
Whatever this was.
Live here again, and maybe you'll be worth.
I didn't save my life. I saved your constituent's life. That's the credit. This is what it's worth to you. Sorry. I apologize. Miles, way too worked up to be having this conversation right now. Not in character. Huh.
We can tone it back down. Set Lolly?
I would like to do... I guess it's a insight check on the mayor. I'm not really trusting him. Would that be insight or perception?
No, it's insight, but go for it. Miles, I love you.
I know. Love you too.
We can tone it down. What's up?
22.
He believes everything he's saying. It is not somebody who is speaking in falsehoods. It's not lying. It's somebody who is worked up. It's somebody who's afraid, very angry, and you can tell that there's a lot of it that you can also tell is lashing out at Liam because he's the thing even unwittingly stoking that fear or being an obstacle for him to be able to solve something. There's a very real essence of this person is just afraid. And that is where we will take our break. We'll be back in 15 minutes, everybody. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
He didn't do anything to try and trick you that time. He just
I'm
counted.
aware. I don't know what happened. I think I was counting in my head like 10, 9, 8.
But that was
like,
the problem.
Oh, you know what it was? I had 5. I just had it on 2 hands.
No, this is what you did. Chelsea, I swear to God, you were like 10, 9, 8, 7. So you were down to 4 on this hand for the whole time.
I know. No, but then I realized, because I'm so used to having 5, so it was like 6. But really, this is 6. But this is also 6. So then when I did it wrong, my hands were like, eh.
See, I don't even have to do anything to mess you up.
Just my stupidity does.
No. Welcome back, everybody, to the Natural Ones. This is how we like to start our... I feel like this is always our second half starting, too. Like, there's no grace.
It doesn't matter what happens at the end of the first episode. The second one is just us stumbling. It just starts with us stumbling over ourselves, laughing.
I don't know. Miles and I's gig is pretty well pieced together.
Received.
Together.
Well, we don't have...
Also well received, because I read the chat. Someone said they still liked it.
Was it Lost City?
It was Lost City.
Well, you know what? Lost City is the MVP.
Lost City
You're
also thinks
welcome,
that
Lost
Ark...
City.
Lost City also thinks that Ark is out to get you guys, so...
He hasn't been proven wrong yet.
I went home.
might
We
be.
still have it, so we're good.
Ark absolutely could have been a long con.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I should have grabbed Ark. I grabbed Ripper instead.
I'll be honest.
Oh my god.
That's one of the
Ark would have
funniest
ended
parts of that decision to me, is that you go and grab the, like...
You grab like a challenge rating 1/4 wolf.
And you have Yvonne or...
Or an
Yvonne has
Ark.
to drive the house. I forgot about Ark, honestly. I don't like machines.
You could have grabbed Juliet.
Oh yeah, Max makes a random appearance.
Max is here right now, so...
Oh, and we know that.
Yeah, Max is here.
I
right
run
now,
back
so
to the house.
Run back to the house, like, grab Juliet. Maxwell, we need you.
And Becky with the good scales, because Becky's got to come with.
So Becky.
So Becky.
So Becky, I
So Becky
forgot,
with the
sorry.
good scales.
So Becky with the good scales.
I feel like we literally just had that conversation on the episode that went up yesterday, too. Or this week.
It's a cycle. We just
really miss Juliet.
So, at this time, the mayor has agreed to meet with them. You guys told him to come to town, but like there was no like designation of time specifically.
God, we do that a lot.
Those sandwiches haunt me.
So it's one of those things where like if you want to it, I bring this up more to tell you that like if you guys want it to happen now, you guys are gonna have to make an action happen for it to happen now. Because he, you know, at this point it's up in the air when Kornak will arrive.
Send up a smoke signal.
So that's more information for you guys to act on rather than, you know, needing a choice right now. As you come back down the stairs, Philip, and start heading towards the basement.
I'm pretty much done with this conversation for now, so I'm probably just going to be waiting for Philip's thing to play out. I don't really have much more I need to add at this moment.
Or is anyone? Are we wanting to stay inside the tower for that, or are you wanting to step out?
I'm alright waiting inside for Philip. We can head out once he's back.
Yeah, you're not being shooed away for sure.
Stayed within eye contact of as many people as possible.
Sure.
Liam, are you okay? Do you want a hug?
Oh, and she
Probably,
doesn't
yes.
give those lightly. should take her up on it. No one has ever been hugged by Setlali yet.
The first hug.
The first hug. It's the shiniest and the best hug.
Honestly, yeah, probably.
Well,
Nameless?
I think you did a good job.
Thanks.
Nameless.
Are they, I guess I asked this out of character, are they all walking away from the mayor, or is the mayor still, like, stationary and, like, kind of alone, like, isolated? Like,
Meaning,
where they were, but, like...
You're saying
like,
they, meaning Charlie, Tybalt, Robin?
No, I'm sorry. Did the rest of the party, Liam, Setlali, and Click all kind of walk away? Or
You
they
are
all still,
more than
like,
welcome
right
to
there?
just stand there awkwardly at their table, or you can go make space somewhere else more conveniently.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was imagining you guys would walk away. You guys would
I
have
was
to be stepping
assuming, but I
away
wanted to make sure
to
before it wasn't
be
said.
comfy.
So I'm just...
No,
Okay, so then I'm gonna go saunter over with Panther and Ripper to the mayor's table without Liam, like by myself, you know.
So you stay while everybody walks away.
No, we walk with them and then we saunter back. Oh, yes.
You sashay away and then sashay. Okay.
And Hunty, I stay. Okay, anyways.
So
Sashay, you stay.
you stick towards the table. You're getting sort of an odd glance from the mayor.
Excuse me, Mr. Mayor. I know that I'm not from here. Do not laugh at me.
I'm not laughing at you.
Okay.
Taking this very seriously, don't worry.
I know that I'm not from here. So I don't have many words and much that are of worth. But I think it's really not nice of you to be so mean to Liam. I get being scared. I came home and my entire village was burnt to the ground.
And what did you want to do when you saw that?
I don't doubt. Here's the thing.
What did you want to do when you saw that?
I also still want to murder them, so I understand your fear. However, I don't
Then-
take that out on every... No, don't stop me for a second, because I don't say many words, and I'm going to say some right now, because he's my friend. I get wanting to kill them. I don't want to stop you from doing that. But I'll do whatever Liam wants to do. But you don't get to say he is less of a citizen here just because he doesn't live here. I know that his heart is here. I know that his parents are here. I know that his family is here. I know memories are here. And this is still as much of his home as where we currently live. So you don't get to attack him like that. That's all. You can go ahead and kill the people. I won't stop you. But I will stop you if you're mean to him again.
You see
I also
Tybalt
think my
very
friends would help.
lightly put his hand to his sword as you're saying that, but not making any other moves. He just does that, that's all.
It was lovely to talk to you all. I hope that you hear my words well. Goodbye. And then I walk back to my place.
As you turn around and walk away, you see Panther bump the table as he turns to come back.
And then I'm gonna look over and go. And then leave.
She lights a cigarette.
Puts it out on his forehead.
I just use it. Produce flame.
So down below, in the basement, there are, again, this is a sizable building, and so there's kind of a row of rooms, no more than 8, and all in a singular hallway. You see their rooms, and as you're being led by this person, he says, as you can see, a lot of the foundation is actually okay. Maybe a few, I feel like those cracks, I don't know, I've been here for a while. I'm pretty sure these cracks have been here for a while. But, it doesn't seem like a lot of the damage was done this far down, which is helpful. Is it helpful?
It is. It's good to know that it has split here. I just need to make sure that with all the weight being taken off, I just want to make sure that these walls connecting everything here, that they're still feeling sturdy. I just want to kind of go... so how are the doors laid out? Are they like straight lines, or is it like a circle?
Yes.
So straight lines?
Yeah. Everything is... There's a straight hallway basically in the middle of the floor. And that's about... probably like 8-10 feet from each other. So there's not a lot of room in this hallway. And then each room is directly across from each other. So there's 4 on one side, 4 on the other.
Cool. So I just want to go along and just like...
They're all wooden doors. I'm sorry, I just realized I needed to tell you this just in case this affects what you want to do. They're all wooden doors with like a little slat, like a viewport slat with little iron bars in between.
And they're all closed, yeah?
Yes.
But the doors are made of wood?
Yes, but the doors are made of wood. That was
shouldn't
the
be a
only
problem
thing I was trying to make sure.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of walk along those walls, and I'm going to kind of just like knock on and like feel the stone like along the walls between the doors and everything. Just kind of like muttering under my breath. But what I'm going to like actually be doing is as I like go by the doors, I'm going to be seeing if I feel any pings from beyond each door as I walk by it.
Okay. There's 3 doors where you feel pings. 2 on the left, 1 on the right.
Okay.
They don't have any identifying markers either. The doors. There's no like name plates or anything on the side of it at all.
Excellent. What school of magic?
How long do you have to concentrate on that to do that?
10 minutes.
No. To concentrate on the... Isn't...
You can use your action to...
Autumn, yeah.
Yeah, you can use your action to...
To see a faint aura.
Yeah, and learn school of magic.
And also figure out.
Thank you. Sorry. From one on the left, you're feeling some abjuration. From another one on the left, you're feeling a necromantic energy. From one on the right, you're feeling it would be transmutation.
Okay. All right. Good to know. Are they? Okay.
They're not weak.
Yeah.
Signals, but it's also detect magic, so it's like it doesn't.
Right.
It doesn't
not
have the same vibrancy of like.
Had I other spells prepared, it would be
sure
another situation. Yeah. I think it's gonna be it. I'm just gonna finish kind of like walking around the walls and checking it, and just like I'm not sensing any instabilities here, which is good. It means we probably shouldn't have to reinforce anything down here.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, and that's
good. I suppose that's the end of the.
Yeah, this should be all the information I need.
Great.
Well, thank you for showing me around. You've been very helpful.
We're lucky that you showed up. And he takes you back upstairs. Sure. You see your friends in the corner, kind of just waiting. But as you approach, Philip comes next to you. The guard who was helping you kind of goes about his duties again.
What's the School of Magic on the Sending Stone?
Are you asking that in character?
You'd have to ask.
Well, they've got a Sending Stone on them, yeah?
Yeah.
I've still got Detect Magic up.
Yeah.
What School of Magic is on the Sending Stone that we have?
It's Evocation.
It's Evocation?
On my sheet.
It's Evocation, yeah.
Okay. Cool. So we're there. Well, there's some magic items down there, but none of them are matching. None of them are the kind of magic that would make a Sending Stone.
How far away are we from the knight?
Not far. He's on the other
he
side
have
of
passed the knight
He's
when
like
he walked?
on the other side of the room, but it's still
they're having like a conversation.
Visible.
Right?
And he's engaged in a conversation, so it's not quiet in this room.
Oh, that's not why I'm asking. When he walked by, would he have also gotten a ping from him?
Oh, that's fair.
Like, did he get a ping from him?
Yeah, is anything pinging in this room for me? Outside?
I'd basically say, yeah, with the amount of time it takes you to go to the building, you would have been able to do it as... you would have been able to have seen it.
What is the ping
look
off
at him?
What is the School of Magic of his sword, by the way? Because that was magic, yeah? Did that have like a School of Magic ping off of it, or is it just like a...
I don't
this is
believe
an enhanced
we
weapon?
said it was. He just said it was a very value... He just had the runes on it.
I thought when we scanned him before...
Yeah, when we scanned him before, he said his sword was magic. His sword was magical.
Right, and you guys didn't... But I don't remember you guys...
He didn't ask. I think he's asking that now.
I thought when I used Detect Magic in the last session... I thought you said his sword is magical. I mean, if it's not, it's not.
It is magical. That's what I'm saying.
But it's like a...
I don't remember...
It's like a +1 weapon situation as opposed to...
Yeah.
That's the main thing, is like if it has like magical properties... It doesn't have a
school of magic outside of like...
Cool.
It is an enchanted weapon. You can see that it's magical.
Cool.
Yeah.
Alright, good to know.
But wait, my question wasn't answered. When he walked by, did he get a ping of evocation from...
But there's still nothing on him other than the sword.
The armor's not magical. Nothing on him is other than that.
Okay.
Yikes.
So he probably ditched it somewhere. Yeah, well, that's basically it. I shared that information with him.
Yeah, sure. It's up to you, again. It's up to you guys what you guys would like to do now. Good.
So it's not here.
Doesn't seem
not
like
at the inn?
No, wasn't at the inn.
I hate to say this because I really don't want to do a lot of walking, but would retracing our steps help and going back?
He didn't have it on him when we went. He didn't have it on him when we left this morning either.
Yeah.
The chances are he probably dumped it after the attack because at that point he was planning to betray Rudnik.
Yeah.
Would he maybe have... Because I this is something that I actually don't know if Bridget the player is remembering correctly. The knight went into the woods before the attack.
Well, he went
correct?
south.
He went south.
You guys never confirmed he went to the woods, but yeah, he went south.
He went southerly. Does Click Whistle knows that?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, before the attack, he sort of went in a southerly direction. Do you want us to check that as well? I mean, if I was going to betray a person that I was going to have attack a town, I would stash my stuff beforehand.
Sure, I don't think he was planning to betray him then yet, but...
Or, you know, if I knew an attack was coming and I didn't want my shit to get stolen or burnt.
The issue is, even if we find the stone, if we can't prove that it's his, we have nothing.
Yeah, that's the main thing. We can't prove it was in his possession if we find it somewhere else.
If we find it and do not touch it or, you know, interact with it at all,
it wouldn't.
Could we... Well, that's the thing. It's like if say, I find it and I report back to, you know, you guys and everything,
we wouldn't be able to... We wouldn't be able to prove it was him unless it was a place specifically tied to him that only he would have access to.
Yeah.
True.
Which I don't think exists in this town.
There was that special bag that he had, but I don't know if that is descriptive enough.
We still wouldn't be able to prove that it was his, is the problem.
Yeah.
It needed to be in his possession.
And as you look over, he still has that bag on him.
So I didn't detect anything through that bag, yeah? Can I casually walk by and see if my aura can see inside that bag at all?
Your aura?
The Detect Magic aura.
Well, I'd say it's run out by this point.
That's fair.
Having to inspect the top 2 floors and then go down and...
That's fair.
I'd say it's but that's what I'm trying to...
I didn't realize
exactly what
you're
trying to bring up, Chelsea, is that it's like when you would have walked by, it wouldn't have been glowing when you walked by those 2 times.
Can I tell the difference between not sensing anything magical inside something and feeling my reach into something being blocked? Like, for example, like, you know, since I can't penetrate...
I get what you mean.
Since I can't penetrate lead, like, can I tell if something is warded to prevent detection?
I want to check the language of the spell.
Yeah.
Just to see if it even comes up at all in some way.
And I know it talks about like what puts it behind cover. Was that? Yeah. So like detect magic.
I don't see the thing about lead.
Detect magic
in my book.
If you sense magic in this way, you can use your action to see a faint aura around any visible creature or object in the area. Any visible creature or object in the area. That's the important language there. So, even though I gave you the thing through the, any visible creature. You guys had the wood slats. That's why I was trying to say like you had little portholes as well.
Yeah.
Or object in the area that bears magic, and you learn at the School of Magic, if any. The spell can penetrate most barriers, but it is blocked by 1 feet of stone, 1 inch of common metal, a thin sheet of lead, or 3 feet of wood or dirt. So the point being is that you could have walked by those doors and not had to have any visual, and he would have been able to detect them, but he couldn't know what School of Magic it was unless he was visually looking at it. That's the difference of that. Like, you can use your action for anything that you can actually see to detect their levels of, like, to detect what school it is, but you can at least detect the presence of magic within 30 feet of you through these objects. And a thin sheet of lead would be anything from it wouldn't have to be that thick, like half a centimeter or something like that.
Yeah.
But the point being, to your question,
what I'm wondering is
would you be able to know? No.
Okay, so I don't know
it's the same thing as I can't see through this wall, so I don't know if there is anything there or not. So.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, does the bag give you the impression that I simply can't see into the bag at all, or
you'd have to inspect the bag? Like, I guess my point is that like it looks like an ordinary bag, so you have no reason beyond what you're asking. You have no reason to believe that you're not able to detect what's in there.
Yeah.
Like, you can have suspicions. I'm not telling you again. I don't think that's meta. I want to take like half a second to make you guys all aware. Having suspicions is not meta, right? Like, that's not metagaming. If you guys think somebody's lying, you can think they're lying. I don't care.
Just can't confirm it.
That's why I don't usually try to say in insight checks that like you totally. I try not to say I have done it in the past, but I'm trying moving forward to not say you believe them. It's not about belief. It's about I have no way of penetrating this truth or that kind of a thing. That's where you're at. Okay. Please continue. Sorry.
I wasn't aware he had that bag on him. Okay.
Well, it's the same bag of those gems. Like he's had it on him since he left.
I just didn't realize it was still there. Yeah. So it's possible if the bag he has is warded or something, it's possible it could be in there, and I wouldn't be able to detect it, but. It just looks like a regular bag to me, so I'm not sure if that's the situation.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, at this point, we have
Cornac, essentially.
We have Cornac coming. Talk to them.
I think that's... If they try to kill the warband will fight back.
Yeah.
That's going to lead to a lot more casualties if it actually happens.
Yeah. I'm not sure how the mayor plans this justice he wants.
It doesn't look like it's going to be pretty.
No, it doesn't.
It also does not feel right to... And I mean, I know they did not do good things. But I don't like bringing this warband into a trap.
Yeah.
Just to kill them. That...
Punishing them doesn't get any justice. They were a tool. They weren't the ones who did this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Alright, well.
I know that feeling. No. Tybalt's too far gone.
Yeah, he looks up to Robin.
He has fallen for the night, hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Charlie is not our biggest fan right now, but...
I mean, she's the most reasonable, but if she was going to speak up, I feel like she would have. Yeah.
And she should have.
Yeah, well.
Well,
fuck,
I don't know if there's anything more we can do here.
I don't either.
Do you want me to check the woods to the south, just in case?
I know what we would do if we found it. I don't think it gains us anything to find it, if it's out there.
And even then, you'd be looking at a huge area with no idea of where to actually look.
Yeah.
Then
I think the best thing we can do is I think the best thing we can do is find the warband.
What do we do then?
Yeah.
Maybe we tell the rest of them to stay back. Cornac comes by himself. And we make sure nothing happens.
That is a very good idea.
And Liam, if you feel uncomfortable fighting against the people of your town, that is perfectly fine. I can't speak for everyone, but I'm pretty sure we all understand if you don't want to.
I don't think there's a situation in which if Cornac doesn't want to come alone, that I don't think anything we tell him is going to convince him to. Saying, oh wait, no, but maybe it's a trap. He's either going to just not come, or he's going to especially bring the warband. The other thing is, if he does bring the warband, like, you've seen the number of town guards we have here. Like, there's not really a trap they can spring.
Even if we win, they wouldn't be without casualties.
Yeah, like, it
two sides are being played against each other right now, so...
Yeah, it's...
I
think the warband's probably, for their sake, safer coming in, as long as the mayor doesn't decide to shout at them that he's going to kill them, which will then lead to everyone in town dying. Like, if that warband comes as a group, I don't think there's much the town can do.
Can we say bring the full warband, but just have Cormac himself come into the city, have the warband wait outside as a show of good faith?
That might be what they intend to do, but I don't think we are going to be able to tell them to do much. They might listen to you. I'm not sure what that gains us.
They have no reason to attack the town, so they won't do it unless
they're provoked.
They'll attack if they're threatened.
Exactly. Yeah. And it just seems like the mayor wants to threaten them. He wants the excuse.
No, he's being played as well.
He's being played, but that still doesn't mean that he won't give the order. And that will kill everyone in this town. Everyone. If they make a move, these goblins sure as shit ain't gonna listen to me.
Well, do they... Not to say that the mayor and everyone in this town is dumb, but do they know that? That if they... As long as they don't attack, they're not going to be attacked?
I mean, I don't know.
He agreed to talk. I think that's the most we're going to get out of him.
We see how Cormac feels about it. I'll protect him, whatever ends up happening. However the negotiations go, we will get him out.
If we go out of the woods to find the warband and come back with Cornac, and come back and have the sending stone, we might as well have handed Cornac the sending stone and told him to implicate the Sapphire Heart.
Exactly.
We can't go out there and return with Cornac. Yes, to come on his own, or coaching the witness.
We also don't have... I don't think we have that line of argument open to us right now anyways. We shouldn't go into the woods. We should stay within sight, but we should probably be the first people they see.
Yeah.
What about the little one from the mech suit? Feaster.
She's being kept below and tortured.
Should we get her out?
I don't think we have that ability right now.
Okay. I don't know.
Then I guess we wait.
Yeah.
So
get up and grab my stuff.
God damn. I would just like Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
I would just like one time where we go somewhere where we don't have some sort of incredibly heavy moral conundrum. Man? Alright, let's go wait for these goblins. No, I'm gonna head out.
Where are you guys deciding to wait?
I'm assuming they'll probably come from the westish end of town. That's around where we left them anyways. So it seems like that'd make the most sense is to wait around that.
Sure.
I think having someone watching the tower makes sense as well.
Yeah.
You guys could accomplish both by hanging out at there's the tree that sort of centers between the inn and Hammerfists and outside of the outside of the tower. It would be very simple to hang about there. You'd have an eye line on both things.
Cool.
So for anybody else who hasn't had a short rest, you are able to take so. As you guys are waiting. If you have any things that you are wanting to read, or if you guys have any things that you want to do as that downtime activity, you're welcome to do them.
I'll be leafing through some of the books that I got some of the books on the clans.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna like keep staring until I see any sort of hint of the warband.
Sure.
Coming through. I wanna
Yeah.
get to them first.
And if anybody wants to take, if anybody has HP missing that they need to put hit dice towards, you are more than welcome to do so. Say it again.
Using 3d8.
Thank you. It's like an additional, I'd say like 2 hours of waiting, sitting by the tower. And or sitting by the tree looking at both these things. Nobody outside of guardsmen kind of come in or out of the tower, or just some people who are helping with the debris, the rubble, that kind of thing. When towards the west side, breaking through the trees, you see Cornac walking very evenly and with purpose, but he walks alone, and he sees the lot of you towards the tree, and he just continues to walk forward. People by the general's goods and by the inn sort of make moves towards him. They're noticing this person walk through.
I look to,
but they notice that he's alone, so they seem to all kind of be making moves towards him. Sorry, that's all I mean. Like they seem aggressive, but they don't seem like they're about to go just bum rush him or something.
We should grab the council.
Sure, I'll provide an escort.
You walk up to Cornac, and he sort of stands. Are we ready?
I believe so, yes.
Liam, you'd have to grab, your father. You have to get the general. Sort of like is right there, so he's pretty easy to grab. You everybody else is still pretty much the other parts of the council are within the tower currently, so it's not hard. But as you do step into your house to like go get your father real quick, as you let him know that the hobgoblin's there, he says, "Son, I just realized Look, I don't want you to be disappointed in me. I know we don't have a lot of time. I know he's here and we gotta get going, but there's not a lot I can do. I didn't want to tell you last night, but they already approved tonight. Or at least the council moved to do so.
Yeah. Oh.
And the only thing I can tell you, just let's be careful in there. We could still back out of the deal. Nothing's been chiefly signed that can't be revoked. But also, there's something that they don't spin in those tales of the Knights of the Sapphire Heart. No knight is subject to, let's say someone wanted you to tell the truth and they wanted to put you under some sort of spell. A knight's oath, as long as he's in the order, protects him from that. They're willingly able to lie. So just, they protect secrets, son.
Thank you.
Let's go. You guys all kind of reconvene. You escorting Cornac.
And as we're walking as well, I'd like to say to Cornac, under my breath, I would just like to say.
I mean, it's you guys doing the guard detail too, so it's like it's not
Sure.
it's not too many. If you're
Sure. Yeah, I'd just like to say. I would keep my wits about you, if possible. Somebody's trying to use your warband as a scapegoat. I promise I'll get you out of this.
Honorable. It's nice. I sort of made 2 and 2 about that myself.
Yeah.
And I've already made some moves against that. But thank you.
Noted.
As you all step into the tower, the room silent as Cornac steps through the doors. And you all step forward towards the council table. The mayor looks like a little beet red tomato sitting at his desk. Just visually trying to keep it all in and trying to just kind of like relax. You can tell. And as Cornac steps forward, Robin steps to him with chains. I suppose no one would object. He looks to Cornac. Would you like to enter our statements into peace, or would you like to start them off in a much more aggressive manner? Cornac
I came of my own free will. I'd like to keep it that way.
This is a parlay, after all. There's no need for people to be in chains.
Robin looks to the mirror. And through gritted teeth, he just... I suppose there is only one of him. And Robin steps away, puts the chains aside. Now, as the mayor is somewhat verklempt, as he would put it, I shall do the honors of helping mitigate this peace. Who of you would like to step forward with your first pleas?
We asked to have this discussion to try and figure out who the warband was communicating with in the town before the attack.
And you say that they were communicating with someone.
Yeah.
And you're certain of this?
Yeah. I overheard a conversation involving a similar attack.
A conversation?
Well, I only heard one half of it.
I see.
Yeah, I overheard half of a conversation, and one of the things that was spoken of stood out to me and led me to believe there would be an attack.
Where did you hear this information?
It was at the inn.
I see.
Yeah, so someone at the inn must have had a way to communicate with the goblins.
And the mayor sort of speaks up. He says, what method?
I mean, there are several forms of ways to communicate via magic, but
Yes. Which one?
When after Rudnik was killed, I believe there was a sending stone found on him, wasn't there, Garnak?
And he sort of...
It makes the most sense that would have been it to me. It seems to me if we can find wherever this sending stone leads, we know who they were talking to.
And the mayor starts to get all hot and bothered, and Robin says, "Oh, please. We will get to the bottom of this, I promise." I see. So you don't know who you were listening to?
Just something I overheard. I can't be certain.
But you're telling me you overheard something in a town where you grew up, and you couldn't recognize the person who said it?
I thought I did recognize the voice, but I don't want to point fingers without evidence. That seems like a great way to cause a ruckus.
It's a fair point. And Tybalt steps forward. He says, but we do need to know. We need to know. It would... If you don't want to say it, I will.
It makes sense to me to see if we can match this sending stone with its match. There's always a few people at the inn, and I had some friends staying there, obviously. I was in their room. When I thought I overheard a voice talking, I thought it was your voice, Robin.
I see.
As you recall, I saw you at the inn. and hence
yes, indeed.
hence my uncertainty. It's not a light accusation to make, which is why
he opens up his pouch.
As is fair.
He sets a sending stone down. Please.
Is this... You'd like us to test this versus the sending stone we found on Rudnik?
Yes.
Okay. Garnock. Does Garnock still have the sending stone?
Cornac still has, yeah.
Garnock, would you turn on the sending stone and try and make contact with the other half?
Sends a short message. The sending stone on the table does not react. I commend you. Being that forthright and honest, it's difficult. I'm happy to alleviate any suspicion. It is still curious. We have one sending stone, and the other must be found.
Outside of that lead, I'm not sure what else it could be. I was helping with some of the repairs to the inn, and while I was doing that, I didn't detect any magical items, so I don't think it could be in the rubbish there.
I suppose there's one other method we could use. Cornac, what was your position in the warband?
I was his first lieutenant.
How many details were shared with you about? I'm sure, first off, to people here who may not be aware, a warband is, in most engagements, a neutral party. They don't necessarily strike for their own reasons. They strike because they are recruited.
The mayor chimes in. Yes, we all know the mercenaries.
Sure. So, if we can agree they were under contract, Cornac, how much information was shared with you by Rudnik about these contracts?
As is standard with the Bolt Bite Brigade, we trusted Rudnik with the information. We made sure we knew enough for strategy and how to advise him. But there were certain things he kept close to his chest. And he looks to you, Liam, he says, but the one thing he was never secretive of, was his disdain for you.
Yeah.
Can you,
We were stationed outside, about 8 miles out, south. We were to wait for some command and enact our strategy. Pincer move. We would strike. The plan was to strike by night. Not to delay and to move through. Rudnik had some plans of buildings, something to the effect of decommissioned buildings, or I'm sorry, I'm losing the word.
Buildings that were no longer inhabited, or
abandoned, but like run down, like they were already not ramshackle. They just were condemned, essentially, like some condemned buildings, some condemned homes, but also just things that would be vacant. It's like the exact day that we were to strike was not set. And then, in the morning, yeah, he gathered the brigade, split us into our corps, and said we would strike then.
So, you were put on hold for a while, essentially.
We were...
What caused him to move his plans forward before being able to fulfill the plan regarding the condemned buildings and such?
To be upfront and honest, you.
Do you have any idea how he knew I was here?
Do you still have that spear? The halberd? Do you still have that halberd?
Oh.
I picked up the glaive.
The glaive.
It's in Flanagan's pouch.
Yes.
Yeah, I made sure the knight didn't get it.
Yeah, I'll retrieve it.
Takes a second, but as you're doing that and you take it and bring it back, he says, "It's the function of the blade. He had it crafted after his encounters with you." And he holds the halberd. He reacts. He says an incantation and slides a button, and once he does, there's like a beam of light that strikes from the halberd to you. It's very thin, but it's this thin, just sort of orange, directly to your heart, Liam. Whenever he was within... It would only work within a certain distance. I think something like 15 miles. He was saving this. He was saving this. He wasn't certain when he would ever see it, but it was something that he just had.
Were you there in Somerville?
Yes.
The circumstances around that, how did they bear any similarities to what you dealt with here?
Only in that we got paid for a job and did it, and we didn't succeed as the way we were supposed to. He looks to the mirror and he says, "At the end of the day, I don't care if you care if I'm telling the truth. I don't need you to believe me. I don't need anything from you. At the end of all of this, all you need to know is that we had no intention of killing you, ending your people's lives. Not until..." He sort of gestures to you, Liam. He says, "Not until Rudnik knew he was here." He kind of like, under his breath, so only you two kind of hear it, meaning Philip and Liam. He kind of... Not anything against you. Or rather, not by your fault.
So
My commander, the general, he did right by us. But this man next to me was his weakness. And you weren't the only ones who lost today. And we don't wish ill will. It's just a job.
We've nothing that could lead us to the person that he was talking to in the town.
He just like hands you the stone. He's like, "You're free to take this."
Now, I'd say the biggest lead that we have is that you were on retainer for a while before the strike, yes. About how long were you in waiting?
A few weeks. No more than. Maybe around 3. It took us 2 to move here. Passage through the maledict wastes are hazardous at best.
So for you to be moved all that way, intentionally, here on notice for a couple weeks, that must mean that the reason you were brought here was... Well, it's simple.
What we were doing. That's...
Sure. On your end, you were a tool. Now, the person using you, that's where the intent lies.
Certainly.
So if that was the case, I'm sure you're all aware of what's been happening here the last several weeks.
Robin sort of chimed. What would that be?
Well, Harrow's standing at a crossroads right now. Harrow's trying to make an extremely difficult decision. A warband is a great way to put your thumb on the scale.
And who would you say...
People make a lot rasher decisions when they're afraid. And warbands are scary.
You see like a kind of chuckle from Cornac. And the mayor and Tybalt sort of calculating what's being said. And you see Robin lean in and say, well, all facts, all true. Who would benefit from such a thing?
Well, I think what makes the most sense is to track back the results of that attack. What happened as a result of this attack? People became afraid.
A tower was broken, people were injured, many people.
Yes.
And yes, that causes fear.
It certainly does, which means that it's an extremely convincing element to have in play. If it led to results that you would want.
Especially if you are making decisions based on fear.
All I can say is if somebody was trying to convince people that the town didn't need protection, hiring a warband wasn't a great way to go about it.
Decidedly not.
I see.
Can I this isn't my strong suit, but can I do an insight check on Tybalt and the mayor? Can I just sort of...
Go for it.
Are they looking particularly squirrely, or... Alright. This is probably my first insight check of the entire game. Let's see.
Somebody's having a concert in your stairwell. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying that, like, it's just funny.
It's nice that I didn't have to pay for it.
Yeah.
16?
16. They seem calculative. They seem like they're listening. The mayor is certainly less red-faced, but it's all just new information that they're trying to process currently.
It's not nervous.
Yeah. Not nervous. They're just...
Yeah.
They're
not, like, guilty nervous.
Can I make an Arcana check to see if I would know how a Sending Stone would be deactivated or if it could be reactivated?
Yeah.
Great. What's 25 to you?
Well, a 25 gets you the knowledge that a Sending Stone is always paired. When a Sending Stone is created, it is created in pairs. So, generally speaking, you would really only have cause for it to be linked one-to-one. It's not like a walkie-talkie kind of a situation where, like, you would change frequencies to a new one. So, you would know that it would only work this one with this one. It's a one-to-one ratio.
So it can't be reconfigured, but would it be possible to deactivate a stone to break the magic off it?
Yeah, by destroying the other stone.
Interesting.
How close are we all together?
Say it again.
How close are we all together?
I mean, it's not that large of a room. You guys are fairly close to each other. Is there a specific distance question you need?
Like if I wanted to hand a piece of paper over to like Liam or Philip.
It would be a sleight of hand if you wanted to do it secretly.
Oota. That's not good for me.
Yeah.
I mean...
Because you also have about 16 people's attention completely directed at you right now. The lot of you. So it's like... doing something subtle isn't necessarily going to be super easy. Go ahead. Sorry.
If it would make anybody here feel more secure, I do have something I may be able to do to help assure that everybody here is being honest. If all interested parties are willing to submit themselves to the effects, I can create a zone where we're unable to lie. I will submit myself to it as well. You can ask me any embarrassing questions you'd like. I would like to verify that I have nothing to hide, as does Liam. I'm sure he would also
Gladly.
have no concern submitting himself.
Cornax, in agreement. He says, all I care about is my people. That's it.
Does anybody have any objections?
You see Charlie, like, hesitate. She said, the only problem I see with it is that you're asking us not to trust each other. And...
No, you don't understand. I'm not asking you not to trust each other. I'm asking you to show that Harrow is the strong community that it has been for as long as Liam has been here. I'm asking you to let me prove that everybody here is trustworthy.
The knight, Robin, looks forward and says, the paladin speaks true. I advise it. The general kind of looks around and he says, I don't know exactly what advises, but I won't object. And he looks like Cornax straight in the eyes and he says, and I already can tell. I don't need to know much more. I know where this is going. I don't need anything else. I have absolution. I'm good. Your father speaks up. I will give you a second nameless, don't worry.
No, I'm just reacting because I'm mad because I heard a conversation that I didn't hear.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I was like, I want to make sure.
No,
that
I'm literally like wringing my hands. I'm like, why is no one saying something?
It's okay.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Oh.
Tybalt also agrees. Charlie still ends up agreeing. The mayor is calm enough to agree. And your father steps forward and he says, Yes. Speaking the truth is a good thing. Having the ability to willingly, that's another. And it's a shame that I have to call one out. But you know, Robin, as well as I, you won't be subject to it. And Robin looks over and he says, yes, as you well know as well... Oh. That's right. No, you ditched your oath. You don't understand the differences between the choices. We can... What he speaks of is a Knight of the Sapphire Heart. Is not subject to things like a zone of truth. But I can willingly drop that.
And will you?
Yes. Nameless.
I'm raising my hand in, like, the character.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah, you raise your hand in character. Yeah. He says, Miss...
Hello. How do we know you dropped your zone thingy? We just have to trust you? Is that kind of what I gather?
Maybe. Or, if you're so inclined... Maybe someone has a way to detect it or make sure.
I'll know. I can tell whether people resist or not.
Wonderful.
No, that's not what I'm talking about, Philip. How do we know if he puts his veil down? He's not resisting it, per se.
Wait, I can use Identify. If I touch a creature throughout the casting, I learn what spells, if any, they're currently affected by. I can see if he's being affected by Zone of Truth with Identify.
Wonderful. Then we're all in agreement then? He looks at your father, kind of looks over and says, as long as that holds up. Get to it then.
Alright. Then I cast Zone of Truth.
You don't feel any resistances. Maybe one or two of the guardsmen, but they certainly don't pass.
Yeah, I don't care about them.
That's all I mean is that, like, there's a few of them that are like, I don't know, I don't really want to be. But it's more of a hesitance than an outright. But go ahead.
I walk up, ask if gesture like I'm going to do the thing, just so I don't, I'm not grabbing him all.
He doesn't seem threatened by you in the sense of, like, it doesn't seem like your approach is going to be met with aggression.
Alright, I cast Identify.
You see the zone is affecting him.
Okay. How long is Zone of Truth? Out of character?
10 minutes.
10.
Alright. I'm gonna go through one at a time, asking everyone if they had contact with the warband before the attack.
Okay. 1 second. Identify does take a minute to cast, just so you know.
Okay. So 9 minutes long?
Yeah.
Okay.
So who are you starting with?
I think we get our party out of the way.
Okay. Very simple. You hear from Tybalt, Charlie, the mayor, your father, the general. They all have the same answer. We had no knowledge of them until they showed up. Tybalt does say that, like, the only things I knew about them were that they existed. I had heard some rumors that they were traveling through Jortenia, but, month and a half ago, or, like, it's some time ago, like, I had heard something about the warband moving, but that was really just, hearsay. Asking Robin.
Bless you.
There you go, Maxwell.
Juliet!
So what are you, what's the question? Sorry, I just want to make sure one more time.
Did you have any knowledge of or contact with Rudnik or his warband prior to their attack on Harrow.
Yes.
What did this knowledge of or contact entail?
I had knowledge of them in that I work with an organization that tracks a lot of things. I track many different kinds of bands and brigands and the like. I also had contact with them once. Once upon a time, I had a run-in with them after one of their jobs. It was simply to move them along. They were guarding someone that we were hunting. We struck a deal, and they moved on. I was with 4 other knights at the time. I was not the one chiefly making those decisions. But again, I track a lot of different people, and I also track a lot of different groups. The Crimson Dawn, for example, and he looks directly at you, Clickwhistle. There are many people in this world that I keep an eye on.
That's not Liam, that's Miles.
Huh.
Nameless.
Liam, can I ask a question, Liam?
Sure.
I know that sending stone doesn't go to that sending stone, but where does that sending stone go to?
That seems to be the question, isn't it?
Well, could you maybe talk into it and see who responds to it?
Yeah, the sending stone that you have. We're not sure where the other half of that goes.
Oh, this goes to the knights.
Well, can maybe you just send them a little hello? We can confirm it.
This is Knight Robin.
Can't hear it.
Nothing affects in the room.
I realize we can't hear it. Can I try it?
It would have to attune to you.
Oh, right.
The ones we have in the order aren't that fancy.
Oh.
Is that the only sending stone you have on you?
Yes.
I can't think of other questions to ask because I believe I know he's lying, and if he lied about those things, it doesn't matter what I ask.
I have a question, but I'm not sure if I should ask it. I want to ask Liam if I should ask it.
You guys are on the clock.
Yeah.
If you want Zone of Truth to be, sorry, that's more of what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I definitely do. Can I kind of be like, Liam, should I ask?
Sure.
Are you sure? This might fuck things up.
You know, we are all in the room with you. If you'd like to ask a question,
sure.
you're more than welcome.
Miles has no idea what you want to ask, so.
I want to, can I say out of character, or is that meta?
No, because then I would make the decision based on
You just gotta ask your question. You either gotta do it or you can't.
Just do it.
Shoot your shot or no.
Okay, I may have also been a witness to you talking into your stone. And I would like to know who you were talking to.
What event are you speaking of?
Oh, yeah, I overheard someone talking into a stone. I assumed they were talking with Rudnik. I thought it was you. Were you talking on your stone shortly after we met in the inn?
can I ask a question really quick out of character?
Sure.
Technically, those are all lies. I'm the only person who overheard it.
Oh shit! I'm so sorry. I thought I was out on the balcony. I'm wrong. I'm sorry. It was me.
Oh, okay.
Because that's the thing is, I want to ask that question too.
Can we just say that Nameless asked that question?
We can retract
but
it. But
I'm so sorry.
Give me a second. We can retract it.
Right.
Nameless, you don't have to ask it if you don't want to. But you can. Did you have something you were trying to say too? For this?
Yes.
I've been debating.
You can go first, because I want to make sure that that's correct, that I'm the only person who heard it. I thought that was the case, as I was the one who gave the information. So I just wanted to make sure.
You're the only one in the room when he made the call.
Correct. I just don't remember if Click Whistle actually overheard it. Because if she already asked the question,
she didn't actually overhear it. It was
so she couldn't have said those things.
But I'm submitting to Zone of Truth.
It's the like you weren't in the room. Nameless told you it after. You were told what was said.
Yeah.
Right. I'm just saying if she's gonna ask her a question, she should be careful of how she words it, because technically that would be lying. She said she overheard it.
That's what I mean.
That's why we retconned it, because she wouldn't have physically been able to ask the question. No, I'm saying
so if she wants to word it
differently,
differently, I'm going to give her a moment to word it differently. Philip can do his thing, and then we'll see what happens.
Okay.
So, me, Nameless, I'm not doing anything. Philip can do his thing first.
Go for it, Philip.
Who detached you here? Who are you answering directly to as a superior?
The head of my order.
Is he in touch with Rudnik?
I certainly don't know.
Did you know Rudnik was going to be here when you came to town? Or did you know Rudnik was here or going to attack before the attack?
I'm starting to believe that you might... allow me a moment.
Do you have any questions for us?
I do indeed, but a lot of your questions seem to be directed solely at me. You have a whole room of other people who have lived here, and yet you attack me. So it seems as though... Let me ask you. And just know, again, you have all subjected to the truth.
Mm-hmm.
You do not have to say anything. That is one of the parts of Zone of Truth. The person is not compelled to say something. But if they start to speak on that subject, they start telling the truth. Why do you suspect me? What is the information that you have that seems to incriminate me?
I heard that a discussion coming from your room involved talking about Tomoril just after I arrived in town and just before a goblin attack.
So you heard it?
I heard that it occurred.
Who actually heard?
Nameless.
Miss Nameless. Where did you hear it?
In your room.
In my room?
That's fair, but did a conversation occur in your room?
Sorry, wait, what?
Did such a conversation occur in your room?
Thank you. No, sorry, I don't know why, but my headphone cut out, so I got like half the sentence. A conversation can happen in my room.
Why? Shortly after you met up with me, when I saw you at the inn, did you have a conversation over a sending stone regarding where Tomoril was brought up?
No.
Huh. Well. I don't know what to do. He's lying, so I don't know what to do.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Liam, does Did it work? Does he have his zone down?
He seemed to be under the influence of Zone of Truth, from what I could identify. So, I don't know what's going on.
I'm going to walk up to him and cast Suggestion.
I'm gonna pause you there.
Oh, because it's Zone of Truth. Never mind.
Also, just think about what think about what Suggestion really is telling you can do, and B,
never mind.
Room full of people, very tense situation. I would advise against it.
Yeah, never mind.
Okay. Like where the head's at, like where there's decisions. That's good.
Can I ask a question out of character?
Yeah.
I thought that Liam saw that the thing was still up. Is that incorrect?
He cast Identify.
Uh-huh.
Which then means he understands if this person's under the effects of a spell.
Okay.
Which he was.
Just a spell.
It is not persistent. Identify does not last. It's not like a concentration or anything. It is in that moment, is someone under the influence of this. It has been several minutes since that casting.
Got it. Cool, thank you.
However, you want to give me a vibe check?
Yes.
I was going to get this to you. There was a couple of things being said, and just wanted to make sure people were saying what they wanted to say.
If it's straight charisma, it's 22.
What's a vibe check?
So it's with proficiency?
Yeah.
So it's 26.
Right before he answered that question, you felt a disconnect from him. Like, you were aware of everybody who was under the influence of that.
Mm-hmm.
But at that moment, it cut out. For the amount of time that he said his sentence, for the amount of time that he said no, it cut out. So you were in my room, listening
Apparently
to someone.
She wasn't. If you didn't have this conversation, then she must not have been.
Unfortunately, you know that's not true.
That's logic.
It's
a statement. Alright, so no, the statement is
I'm seeing
if you didn't have this conversation, she must not have been.
It's slippery, and I'll allow it. It's not denying that it's not. It's that weird half and half. All right.
That.
It's an if-then statement. I didn't say that it was true. I said if.
Well, but here's the thing. This is actually the case with Zone of Truth. This is true. This is how I would reason it. Is that it's like they're not compelled to tell the truth, and they're not compelled to say the whole they don't just like spill the guts about the whole thing. They can still draw a line of like, I will tell you very specific information that is true. Anyway, correct. But if you allow me to ask her, were you in my room?
In some way.
And in my room, you overheard a conversation of someone like me having with a sending stone.
No, it was you. I saw you.
Well, are there not magics that conceal a person's true identity?
Sure, but they grabbed that bag that you currently have.
This bag.
That exact bag, yes. Inside the bag there are also gems. Perhaps you should empty the bag out.
Takes the bag and he empties it. Gems and the sending stone. My point is clearly that it seems as though there might be some information getting crossed.
No. I was right. There were gems in the bag. How would I have known that if I wasn't there?
How would you have known that if you hadn't gone through my things? Yes, you've proven.
I didn't say I didn't go through your things. Don't put words in my mouth.
Well, don't assume. You're not really building credibility.
I actually am.
You broke into my room.
Sure. I didn't trust you. I cannot say that the way that I did it was correct. Though, I guess I believe it was correct, because you're not a good person. I believe that. Whether that's true, I cannot say. I do not believe you are a good person.
Wonderful. I care so much about your opinion.
No one but myself. I hope my friends. And I hope the town.
By my record, we have a minute left of this truth. That we can all be...
That's correct. There's one more minute. Suppose I... Where were you during the attack?
I went to the south.
What were you doing in the south?
I was visiting a friend.
Who was this friend?
Go ahead and give me a vibe check.
20.
You feel it cut out. A friend I've made in the city.
While he's answering, I'm going to drop Zone of Truth. Are you under the influence of Zone of Truth?
I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure out what you're asking.
In the middle of his answer, I'm saying.
You've decided to drop it early.
I dropped it while he was talking, and then as soon as he finished talking, I said, "Are you under the influence of Zone of Truth?"
Yes.
I suppose everybody felt that.
I did.
I looked to the mayor. You felt that? You felt the magic release you?
Gotta be honest, I wasn't paying attention.
Tell me, Mr. Hammerfist. This ability that the Knights of the Sapphire Heart have. Do they They say they can opt out of it. Does that mean they can also opt back in whenever they please?
It's been a while since I've been in the Knights. But yes, on reason you could drop in and out if you'd like. If they're saying they can drop out in the first place. It wasn't used to be a thing that we were taught.
I dropped that spell in the middle of your answers. You've been putting up a wall every time you've been asked anything. You've been opting back in. Because you were cutting yourself off. You didn't feel when it stopped. Everybody else in this room did. Convenient that you were paying attention to the clock.
Well, it's a thing just naturally gifted, I suppose.
You certainly do have a lot of gifts. This is all I have to say. I look to the mayor. You're leading an incredibly wonderful town. It's produced one of the best men I've ever known. Somebody with an honest streak strong enough that, frankly, he can't be dishonest if he tries, and it's gotten us into trouble before. You're growing. Your town is becoming... well, it's enviable to a lot of people. This man that you're looking at right now, indicating Cornac. He has no ill will. He's a tool. They're there to be used in order to survive. I understand that you look down on mercenaries. However, if you want to lead these things correctly, if you truly despise people who are used as tools, I'd be extremely, extremely careful to make sure that you don't let your own people become a tool as well. There's one person who has something to gain from all of this. I've been trying to figure out what this warband would have to gain from an attack since this happened. They gained nothing from destroying things. They did it for somebody else. And as far as I can tell, there's only one person here who has anything to gain from it. And they also conveniently happen to possess a tool that lets them get away with it. A tool that we've just confirmed they've been using. I trust everybody in Harrow. That only leaves one answer.
Tybalt's the first to speak. I don't know how to express gratitude. You guys helping appropriately. I suspend my vote. There's something that was happening when you cast the spell. I don't know if it was intrinsic or not, but couldn't lie to myself anymore. He looks to Robin. He says, "Nothing you've done over these past few days speaks to goodwill when I really look at it. The amount of times I asked you a question and you dodged an answer. I'm going to go with my gut, and I'm going to believe my friend. And that's it. He sits down. And the general waves it by. And Charlie sort of... We've seen what becomes of hatred before. Other places. It's what I wanted to fight against. And she looks to Cornac and she says, I can't do anything but hate you. But I don't want to live with that forever. I don't think I want to live with what we could do to you. And she kind of looks at the papers in front of her and she's like, I can't in good conscience say that I signed these with a clear head. The notary in me is sort of sparking up. You can take these, and she just bundles them all together and just throws them on the ground. Taken to hell. I don't care. And you're the mayor. Looks to Robin. He says, I've been afraid a long time. And I have a bout of clarity, much like Tybalt. I suspend my bias. What happens to you, Kornak, will not be decided by me. I have much to consider. But yes, you can take these, and he directs to the pages on the ground and says, and you can go to hell. If there's anything I do as the last act as mayor, it's to prevent you from coming in here. You've made a mockery of me, my daughter, and my friends, and a beautiful young man. And that's all. And your father steps up, and he kind of like, piss off. Go running. Nobody in town's going to attack you. Nobody will give you any rights. Nothing. You've proven your ilk. And nobody touch him. Or he'll go run and tell his daddy. And Robin looks to him, looks to the rest of you. Well. And gets up. I will say, I thought better of all of you. But that's fine. You're your own city. You merely rest upon land that doesn't belong to you. And one day that may come and bite you. Just simply don't say I wasn't there, attempting to give you something. Jotinia is a force to be reckoned with, and you could have been a part of that. Just don't be surprised. He starts to make his way out the door. Doesn't seem like anybody wants to stop him, so I'll move on.
I will head out just to keep an eye on him and watch his path.
He just heads west.
Okay.
Can I, sort of, like, pretty lean over to be like,
What? I'm sorry. You skipped a bit for me.
Oh.
Sorry. Go ahead. Say it again.
Sorry. Can I just kind of lean over to Liam and be like, I'll take care of him if you want me to. It'll look like an accident.
I have no doubt.
You are still in the room.
I said very stealthily.
I understand.
I'll roll
Thank
for
you.
it.
He's still also got a lot. He's also got a lot of attention on him right now.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. For beyond that, for hearing what it is we were saying.
The mayor looks to you, Liam, and he says, I was angry.
I get that.
You didn't. The older halfling steps down from his chair and walks to you. Kind of like puts his hands in your hands. He says, you didn't deserve it.
But you weren't entirely wrong. I love this town. I always have. And you're right. I talk a big game about doing the right thing. And you're right. What does happen when I leave?
Well,
So I'm staying.
maybe we can have this talk over a dinner.
I'd like that.
I would as well. He looks to Cornac and says, well, as I said, I do not decide your fate. Heroes of Harrow. He looks to the 5 of you, or I guess four of you.
I'd come back in after he disappeared into the tree line.
Gotcha. Yeah, it wasn't long.
I just want to make sure he doesn't.
He's not doing anything. Yeah, he's just leaving. He says, I leave it to you. Please. Decide. And however hard it might be, we will adhere to your wishes. Please. Go. In good faith. And we'll have dinner.
If I might make a request.
No, we don't have. Oh, sorry.
Quiche.
Yeah, I was like, go for it.
In the basement, I believe, one of the goblins is being captive. Fizder, if you could release her to head back with Cormac and rejoin her. Rejoin her war-band. Unless anybody objects, I don't.
No, I don't see. Tybalt kind of sweet. I don't see any reason why she can't. Then he takes him about 2 minutes, and he brings her back up. She looks unscathed.
Okay.
And she's kind of like, she sees Cornac. She's like, okay. Somebody die? Like somebody, like here?
No, we
It's just very somber.
everything's fine here. We weren't able to save Rudnik, but everybody else is okay.
Cornac sort of, wouldn't mind. I'd like to take this outside.
Absolutely.
I'll walk you out.
All right. He says, well, I guess we'll have to I'd like to walk well with all of you, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Hi. Hi, baby. And as you guys exit the tower, head to the tree, Cornac sort of like helps. They helped her out of her binds and everything, and she says, "I'm still gonna get my
yeah.
my mech back, right?"
Yeah, absolutely. That's your property.
Okay, good. So
I'm gonna give her the because I took it. I'm gonna give her the crystal back.
Oh,
for her suit.
That is very good.
Give her the keys to the.
It honestly would have taken
Yeah.
a week to make another one, and that's not very fun.
Yeah, well,
And Cornac
I have no reason to keep it, so.
Cornac looks to you and he says, "Well, to be honest, I'm glad I wasn't asked a lot of questions in there.
We were never after you.
Yeah, it shows.
I'm sorry this wound up happening.
It's okay. It happens. It's part of our line of work. Was our line of work, I should say.
Yeah. Go ahead, Bridget.
I know what it's like to be a tool of a larger force.
You see, you guys keep using that word. I don't really like it that much.
But
You're acting like we don't have autonomy.
No, you do. That's click whistle. It's not. What they do is a different thing. They aren't tools because they're a warband.
You called us tools too.
Yes. Not because you're a warband. Because he was being dishonest and planning to betray you from the start. He wasn't treating you with the respect that you deserved.
I understand.
It's
And
the
he
same-
looks to you, click whistle, and he says, "I only mean to educate. All I mean
No,
to
of
say
course.
is, you're not wrong.
And I know that you. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. No. You're also trying to.
I'm
say
just
it's-
like
it's
I'm like.
You're trying to find the time, and it just wasn't working. Go for it.
It's not. Look, I'm not saying that you do not have autonomy. If anything, I know what it is like to have autonomy and be used as a tool against your will or against your knowledge. So, and as someone who has broken your honor code, I
Well,
wanted to apologize
it's appreciated.
more than anything.
Means nothing, but it's
because-
appreciated.
Yeah, no, I mean, most of the time, I don't understand I mean, it's a human thing to be like, I'm sorry, and it's supposed to mean something,
No,
but,
I mean, you've already done it. Actions speak louder. There's a reason
He
I'm
was
the
trying-
only one here.
he was trying to kill my friend,
He did kill your friend.
and that is why I killed him.
But for us, and for him, what did that gain? They asked to be in a 1v1. It was between them. It was a grudge match. You ignited a new grudge. Now, I say this because Rudnik was a good man. He was a good leader. Doesn't mean I never disagreed with him. And Fister's like, oh God, all the time. I was first lieutenant. It fell to me to decide. If it had been... Oh God. It's a good thing you killed him in the woods. If he had been there to make that choice, he
he wouldn't have stopped. Point being, you won't have to worry about the Bolt Fight Brigade anymore. And
That is what I was hoping for. That is the answer because I just...
make no mistake. You disrespected. But who knows? Maybe in a year, 2 years, some hobgoblin or doofus will make the same mistake towards your code of honor. I'm not here to cast stones, but if you want an honest truth, that was a bad play.
I'm not known for making very good plays.
It's a good shot, though.
It was a great shot.
If that's all, I've got a new life to go find.
I like that for you, Cornac. You are
Do
a
you?
wise... I do. I think you will do great things.
We'll see.
Visitor, I also wanted to just tell you that I'm happy that somebody is continuing the Pavarish research. I hope that you continue being as successful as you have been.
Well, I mean, lost out on a lot of materials here, but okay.
Yeah. If for any reason you need to contact me,
I remember you.
sure. If you send a letter to the Fredderfuller clan in
you
Wollongcar,
mean- Oh, okay. Sure.
they should be able to get a hold of me if you need something.
Okay. I'm gonna go get my neck.
Yeah.
She just leaves. Cornac at that moment also takes a step away.
So,
Are we not?
Sorry.
Are we not gonna talk about kind of the elephant in the room right now? At least for me, I'm really not.
Yeah, me either, but from my understanding, it's something we're saving for dinner.
No.
With that.
Um,
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
No, and because I don't want to go to dinner with them. I am going to, I don't know if it's an attack, but push Liam.
It's not an attack, really. I
Okay,
mean, are you
so,
trying to hurt him?
I'm trying to
It's
physically push him away from me.
Yeah.
I stood up for you. I get that this is your family, but you're my family, and I don't want you to go. Or stay, I guess. But I don't want to be here if you leave, so this is my goodbye. Because I don't do goodbyes well. So, goodbye. And then I push him again, and I leave.
Nameless.
Yeah.
I don't know. But this is you're right, this is part of my family, and so are you guys. And I almost lost this part of my family, and I almost lost you guys too. Well, technically the other way around, but same result for me. And I don't know. And I'm scared. There are things I need to do here. But I want to be away from you guys. Look at my town. There are things in the world that agreed to is the wrong word. But there are things in the world that we set out to do, and I feel responsible for them. There are things that I should be responsible for here as well. I don't know what that means yet. I don't know how that works. I don't know.
So why didn't you say that instead of saying you were staying here?
Because it just came out. Also, I don't know. Well, I don't know. Because I'm hurt and confused too. I'm hurt and confused by me, as well as you being hurt and confused by me. And I'm sorry for that.
Good.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't.
Well, I'll come to dinner, but I just want you to know I'm not saying goodbye again. So this is it.
Okay.
But I'm kind of hungry, so I'll go with you guys. Stop laughing at me!
No, it's so fucking good. Whirlwind is what it is.
It's so good.
It's lovely. Oh. That hurts my heart.
And at that, as you guys... I'm gonna force it. As you guys embrace each other in a sort of...
hug check?
Friend lock. Group lock?
Panther's also up there, just like...
He's at the center of the circle. Let's be honest. It's around him.
I only hug him.
And he's mad about it.
We're all group hugging and Nameless is just hugging Panther. Pangolin's hugging himself.
I hug myself.
Yeah.
You offered to hug him earlier.
He didn't accept it, so he lost
Yes,
out.
I did.
Yes, he did.
He said he did.
I didn't hear you say yes.
He said yes.
Yes, I did.
I didn't.
I assumed
didn't
y'all
get
were
it.
embracing
Yes,
when I was
yes.
over
I
having
hug
my
it.
mayor talk.
Fine, I hug him again.
It's
2 hugs.
It's 2. I gave you 2.
It's a set.
Not just
volley
one,
hug.
but 2, y'all.
Set of volley hugs. That is where we will call the session tonight, as if you were unaware. Thank you very much for coming, everybody. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, fun is how I would describe that.
See you next week.
See you next week.
I'm exhausted.